Welcome to Launceston Arena. It is grand final day in the State South. And first up we have the TSL Development League grand final. The Kingborough Tigers up against North Launceston. Last time out these two teams had to be split by extra time. So we are all set for an absolute humdinger of a grand final. I'm Damien Gill, bringing this one live to you. Alongside me is Anthony Osborne. Morning, Anthony.
Great to be here, Damien. Yeah, really excited for this game, as you've touched on that game a fortnight ago. If we have a game similar to that one, even partly similar, we should be in for a cracker. That game, as you mentioned, going into extra time and being decided by a point. Another game earlier in the year between these two sides also being decided by a solitary behind. So really looking forward to this one. If those two games are anything to go by, we should be in for another cracker.
Yeah, you spoke a little bit of the head-to-head there. Round one, these two teams met for the first time. On that occasion, North Launceston pretty comfortably got the job done, 11-7-73, Tigers 5-7-37. Round 8, Tigers got one back, 8-11-59. They rolled North Launceston by a solitary point, as you said, 9-4-58. Then round 15, Tigers again, 14-9-93 over North Launceston, 4-8-32. And in the semi, as we spoke about, it went to extra time and it was decided by just 1 point. An absolute slop at KG5. But what that paints a picture of is a very close encounter as the Tigers make their way out onto Launceston Arena. And you'd be happy just hearing that song, Anthony Osborne, and of course a massive Richmond fan as they burst through the banner.
I was concerned at half-time last night that this might have been the only time I'd be able to hear the famous tune this weekend, but no, luckily the Tigers in the AFL got over the line, and yeah, for Kingborough's sake, they'll be hoping that it's a good omen for today.
Now, what do you make of the Kingborough lineup? I know you follow the Development League very closely, particularly the Kingborough Tigers, rather. I went to Kingborough Tigers, and they had a magnificent run this year. A lot of games on the trot. I think it was 11 or 12 wins on the trot, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Clinched the minor premiership as well. A huge achievement for the Tigers, and really a big moment for them in their still early history as part of the Tasmanian State League. And a lot of guys in this team that did have some senior experience. You can see on that list there, guys like Eddie Burris-Cheng didn't play much senior footy this year, but a staple of the team last season. Alex Bessel, the youngster, only turned 17 last week. He was a really key part of the Tigers' push towards finals football. A couple of other guys in there, Cooper Sorty, we know how talented he is as a key forward, and a couple of other guys like Harry Bradburn have been around the traps for a while. Zach Adams, another guy with Tasmania Devils experience, as does Jordan Lane. So a lot of experience there, and I think the beauty they've had this year is a pretty settled lineup for most of the season. You see in the Development League a lot of teams chopping and changing with upwards of 6 and 7 changes a week for the Development League teams. The Tigers have had a core group, and it's really held them in good stead for most of the year.
You touched on Cooper Sorty there, 43 goals for the season to date. Pearce, the other chief destroyer, 31 for the season. We'll get on to North Launceston. They're a little more split when it comes to goal kickers. Cody Lowe, their major figure, with 27 for the season. Ben Elmer, who's had an injury-interrupted year, 17. Smith and Chuck, 16 apiece. So a little more split there. So what I get out of that is the key figure for the Tigers, Cooper Sorty. They're going to have to put some work into him.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you look at the numbers in the year, the Tigers are the highest scoring team in the competition, and North Launceston are the team that have conceded the least. So it's really going to be probably won or lost in the Tigers attacking 50, as you mentioned. Cooper Sorty and Jack Pearce, if they can shut them down, it's going to go a long way for North Launceston. But touched on a couple of the guys there, quite a few of those players that have been able to get some senior experience this year as North Launceston's senior team. It's had a bit of a change in shape as well. Young Will Haley, one of those guys, Lockie Cocker, Thomas Foon, Jay Foon's brother. Quite a few of those guys have had that senior experience, and when they've been going back to the Development League, they've really shown that they've got that experience and are able to match it with the best in the comp.
Even guys like Lockie Young, Dylan Headland and Connor Pearton, they're all players over the last couple of years that have played quite a bit of TSL footy. So there's a good blend of youth and experience in this North Launceston setup, and they've been really impressive. The latter, as you said, the minor premiership went to the Tigers, 14 wins, 4 losses, a percentage of 145-43. North Launceston percentage was a little bit better, though, 165.79, but they only had the 13 wins. But that, again, paints the picture of an extremely tight tussle.
Yeah, it certainly does, and yeah, as we've touched on a couple of times already, those two really tight tussles earlier in the year, and again, as I mentioned, the Development League does see a lot of changes from week to week. So there are 2 other games that were a little more blowout, but 2 really close games. And I think again, credit to North Launceston. The senior team's been so successful for so long. The Development League in their second straight grand final, a really good opportunity for these guys to really I guess last year Launceston were the dominant team of the then Mercury Cup Development League for the entirety of the year, and we're always going to be tough to beat. This competition is a lot more even in 2019. I think the Tigers have been the benchmark all year, but North Launceston will certainly go into this game full of confidence.
So we're about 7 minutes from first bounce here at Launceston Arena. Weird old day in terms of weather, but it is warm. The rain has stayed away for now. I think we're expecting a couple of showers across the afternoon, but pretty much all good. And, well, the joy of the live stream is if you are sitting at home in the lounge room, you can enjoy us from the comfort of the couch. And we'll be bringing this one live to you, followed by the TSLW Grand Final, and then, of course, later on this afternoon from 3 p.m, the buildup TSL Grand Final between the All-Bomber affair. It's Lauderdale and North Launceston for the third time in a row. So this one, let's get into it. I want your tip and I want a medalist.
Tip and a medalist. I think I'll have to go with the Tigers. They've, again, I just think the core group have been able to spend more time together as part of this Development League team over the course of the year. I think the couple of tight wins they've had will also hold them in really good stead. So I'm going to tip the Tigers. As for a medalist, I know I talk about young Alex Bessel a fair bit, Gilly, throughout the week, but he's the sort of player that I think will really thrive on a day like today. A couple of omissions from the Tigers team, a couple of their midfielders, Joseph Mannix not playing. I think Alex Bessel will really be able to take the mantle through the middle of the ground, and we saw towards the back end of the TSL season when he was able to get the ball on the outside, he was able to really generate some run and carry, and with pretty nice conditions this morning, I think he'll be able to do that both on the outside or if he is on the inside, be able to really lay his trademark tackles as well. I know Kieran Lovell described in the off-season that he actually hated matching up on Alex Bessel across the pre-season. He was a young player that really loves the physical side of the game, and I think in a grand final he'll be built for that.
I've had to go into the record to make sure I didn't contradict myself and check my tip. North Launceston, 12 points I've gone. Oliver Sanders, a very, very damaging player by foot. Like the way he goes about it. It doesn't need too much of it to have an impact. I reckon he's going to have a very good morning, collect himself a medal.
Yeah, he was really impressive towards the back end of the Tasmania Devils NAB League campaign as well. Just seemed to be a lot more confident towards the back end of the year, and as you mentioned, was able to use his skills to really hurt the opposition. And when he has had the opportunity at senior level, he's also been really impressive. It was named as an emergency for the TSL Grand Final team today, but I can see him out there at the moment warming up. So definitely looking forward to seeing what Ollie Sanders brings to the table today. And yeah, as you mentioned, these conditions early on, I think he'll be able to really thrive and be able to make the Tigers pay with his ball use.
So, as we said, not far away from first bounce here at Launceston Arena. It is the biggest day of the year on the statewide calendar. Tigers up against North Launceston. Tigers their first grand final in any form to date. So, really big day for the football club. North Launceston, well, they know what this day is all about. They'll have a senior team running out later on in the afternoon as the two teams come across and prepare for the national anthem. Small crowd in at the moment. Of course, build across the day with 3 games. The TSLW to follow. All 3 games north-south matchups. As the 2 teams line up. And we pause for official proceedings with the national anthem. So there we have it. The chills of the national anthem, and now that final siren before the first bounce. That's what gets you up and about on the last day in September. Anthony Osborne, as captains will go across to do the toss. There'll be nerves in both camps. Tigers, we've spoken about it a bit already, but their first grand final in any form as a senior club in the TSL competition. Massive day for the club. If they can record a win, you don't know what that does in terms of the energy it sends through the place.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we've touched on a few times already, a lot of their young players have had a bit of senior experience. You'd expect them to really push for senior selection next year. And I know talking to Tigers coach Trent Baumler during the week, a lot of the senior guys, they're obviously really excited to see how the development league team goes today, but they'll be really stinging that they're not out there today themselves. So they'll be looking forward to it and really just getting around their team and hoping that TSL trophy can go down the Southern Outlet for the first time.
So we prepare for the first bounce. Kimbra Tigers up against North Launceston, Blunston Arena. Damien Gill and Anthony Osborne calling all the action. First of 3 games today. We've talked about a few of the stars in this lineup. Who are the prime movers to look out for in the middle, you think?
Yeah, I think, as I mentioned, Alex Bessel, I think Patrick Kelly is another player who probably spent a bit of time through there. We've seen him a little bit at senior level. Riley Ashland, I'm looking forward to seeing how he goes today. He's a really promising player that's part of the Devils Academy. Can't say I've seen a lot of him play, to be honest, but everything I've heard about him is that he's really tough and that he really thrives in the contested footy. So I think through the middle of the ground, he should be a player to watch. Also really looking forward to seeing how they use Jordan Lane. We've touched on before Cooper Sorty and Jack Pearce being forward of centre as the big key targets. We've seen Jordan Lane compete as a ruckman, as a defender, and as a forward in the NAB League. So really keen to see, I guess, the role he's going to play today. He's a really versatile player, and if he's able to get on top in the ruck, that'll go a long way to helping the Tigers out.
I guess this is also an indication for what's to come when you look at Cody Lowe and him being out there. Says that Alex Lee, it's not, smoke and mirrors. He's right to go for the game later on this afternoon. Yeah,
it's probably the thing that everyone's been talking about this week is whether Cody Lowe, named as emergency for the senior team, whether he was going to play development league or seniors. That's good news for both this North Launceston team to have Cody Lowe out there in the development league, but also that Alex Lee is going to be fit enough to play at senior level as well. So, yeah, that certainly answered one of the big questions of the day.
So here we go. Umpire has the ball in the centre of Blunston Arena. Lowe and Lane to duke it out in the ruck. Conditions very nice for football. There we go. And we're underway. Bounce favours Lowe. A bit of a shocker. Taps down. Goes the way of the Bombers. The soccer will find its way towards half forward. Shoved off it. Did pretty nicely. Did Smith. Tried to find an ally in Foon. And they tackle them over. But good start for North Launceston in terms of field position. So the ball to be thrown in. Right half forward for the Bombers. First clearance, looking to get the first score. It's low again. In fact, it wasn't low this time. It was paddled down. Climb on top. Looks like it's going to be a real scrap at the coalface. Comes out the side. There's a kick from Whitney. Almost found its intended target. Not quite. Blocked. Looked to be gathered by Pearden. He fumbled. Squirts out the side. Sanders eyeing it off. Socket away from him by the opposition in Griggs. Ball finds its way onto the wing. Handed into the centre. Illegally, said the umpire. So it'll be a North Launceston ball to rebound off half back.
So North Launceston with the early running here. Plenty of scrappy football. It's just assessing his options on the wing. Drives the ball towards half forward. It's a 1-on-2. The target there in Evans, unable to complete the mark. The Tigers going to repel, but might have just run out of tarmac. So a boundary throw in, half forward for North Launceston. A couple of high fives from the Northern Bombers. Able to get a couple of repeat entries nice and early. Looking forward to seeing the role Matthew Code plays today as well, Gilly, a renowned tagger at TSL level. Interesting to see who he goes to May just get a roll if someone does get off the chain for North Launceston. That tap there, one down by Cody Lowe. Only as far as Riley Ashland for the Tigers. Again, out of bounds, another throw in.
Should mention today as well our charity partner, New Horizons. If you are popping along to the game at the ground at all at any stage this afternoon, give generously. So the ball to come back in. Blow brings it down for the runners. Skittles out the side. Griggs couldn't gather, and we'll have it again on the far side, just in front of the hill there. Launceston Arena. So cagey opening. We are some 2 minutes 30 old in this TSL Development League Grand Final as Lane gathers. He was claimed immediately, brings it down, and they pile on top. Umpire has a decision to make, and he says, give me the footy.
Can already see Cody Lowe and Jordan Lane doing the bulk of the ruck work for their respective sides as they go to battle once again. Jordan Lane slaps it down only as far as Cooper Stewart of North Launceston. Again, the ball just bumbling around at the moment. The Tigers have some numbers as they drive the ball up the wing. Ball does find Cooper Sorty, gets on that left boot into the middle of the ground. North Launceston player in pursuit, but he has plenty of Tigers for company. So the Tigers with the numbers almost make a meal of it. They might just get out of it though. On the outside, finding their young Edward Burrows Cheng. He just hacks the ball inside 50. Not his best work. North Launceston with some numbers, and they're going to be able to repel.
They are indeed, or maybe not. Well, they've got the relieving free kick because the umpire Sam Bridges. So the ball to come out from half back. Kick onto a wing. The target out there was Cocker. He couldn't quite claim it. Good punch coming across for the Tigers by young Ben Graham. So a throw in centre wing. Neither team to trouble the scorers just yet. Lane and Lowe, I'm liking this battle. Lowe gets meaningful contact. Just punched away by Bessel. They get their kick away North Launceston. There's a good kick looking for the intended target, Thomas Foon. He pokes just towards the 50. Drops down now with Mason Garb. He's got the footy, but he's got company. It'll be a ball up.
It's nice work there by Tom Foon. The ball wasn't the best work, but he was able to win the ball himself and drive it forward. He's been pretty impressive at senior level, and just a testament to how strong the North Launceston program is that he's not getting consistent senior games. The Tigers hack the ball from half back. That was Riley Ashland, just an up and under. Mark taken there, but the ball was touched. Thomas Eisel under the pumps. He drives the ball inside 50. Again, the ball just bumbling around. Ollie Sanders with a quick kick, but there's an umpire's whistle. It's going to be a free kick going the way of the Tigers, held off the ball. So, relief there for the Tigers. Have been put under the pump early. Just North Launceston bringing the ball forward nice and quickly. So Ashland working in the back half at the moment. Down the line, looking for Cooper Sorty. He's got a couple of runners there at his disposal. Nicely done by the Zach Adams. He's got a runner in Godomski. Just chooses to ignore him. Go towards half forward. A great tackle laid. Just able to get a kick away there was a North Launceston player as they move the ball through the middle of Blunston Arena. First time we've seen a team able to get a fair bit of space, and North Launceston, they have some options here. Ollie Sanders running around the back, just outside 50. On his left, the ball going long towards goal. Ollie Sanders opens the scoring in the Development League Grand Final. On his left boot, just outside the paint of 50. Made absolutely no mistake.
That was impressive stuff from the son of a gun, Oliver Sanders. He's played a fair bit of Devils footy so far this year, and that's why. Look at the quality. I really like the kick as well from Matthew Cossins. He just streamed through the centre of the ground and opened it up. And then from there, it was all Sanders. Did the business, long effort, and he gets the first score of the game the way of North Launceston. They lead it one straight. Tigers yet to trouble the scorers. So up it goes. Off hands, almost gathered by Lowe. In fact, it was in the end. He puts it out towards Foon. He just paddles for a teammate. Looking out there was Young. Young screws it back. It's a hot footy to gather, and it's a big tackle on Lachlan Cocker as he's driven into the turf. So 1 goal advantage early doors here in the Development League Grand Final. Not too much between these two teams as Lowe jostles for position. Over the top came the Tigers' big man in Reynolds. Brought it to ground. They all stacks on, and there'll be another stoppage. Trend of the game so far, Anthony Osborne. A lot of stoppages. So up it goes again. Lowe brings it to the floor. Swinging a kick inside, forward 50 was Whitney. It was a good defensive sport over the top for the Tigers from Husing. It'll be a 4.5 stoppage again. They've had the better of the territory so far. Conditions, there's no breeze to speak of, which is unheard of here at Blunston Arena as the ball comes back in again. Off hands. That is a really nice kick. I thought it was goal bound for a second from Pearton, but it just hung up a little, and then a good fist provided in defence. Again was Husing. Found its way out of play. So North Launceston with the early running.
So another boundary throw in inside forward 50 for the Northern Bombers. The Tigers just struggling to get the ball beyond the centre line at the moment as that ball comes in. 1 down. Again, plenty of bodies around the ball. Micah Reynolds was doing the ruck work for the Tigers, now competing at ground level. Umpire Bridges has found a free kick. High contact on a North Launceston player, so we're going to have a shot on goal here. I think it might be, is it Thomas Foon? There, yes it is. So Thomas Foon is going to have a shot on goal. Hopped high, and this is a really dangerous position now for the Tigers. Kick from slight angle here, Thomas Foon, man on the mark, about 30 metres out. He's looked lively so far. Player with some senior experience behind him. He's been a staple of the Development League team as well. As Thomas Foon, kick on the way. Umpire does not move. Thomas Foon kicks the Northern Bombers second. And it's all North Launceston early in the Development League Grand Final.
Yeah, no, it's a dangerous start for the Tigers, isn't it? Tom Foon has been a regular feature so far in this one. Only early, but has provided a nice target off half forward. It's just been their ability to pick out those passes, North Launceston today, has made them look a lot more dangerous, as we see on the replay. Nice finish from Tom Foon. You've said it a few times already. Unlucky to not find his way into the senior setup. Played a lot of senior footy so far this year. But he is having a big say in the Development League team. So they look to get in front here. Godomski with the footy. Powers one inside 50. Flying his swordie. Punched away from him. At the fall, right there, was Banks Baldy. He put it back into 50. Pearton now just lowers his eyes as he goes to kick, but miscues it, and it lands in the path of Keogh. So Keogh now slips as he went to kick. That's hurt him, I reckon. He's found a target, though, in Banks Balding. Banks Balding with his second kick in a minute. Just measures a ball, really nice one. Finds its intended target in Jack Pearce, rather. Second top goal scorer so far this season for the Tigers with 31. So he knows where the big sticks are.
Yeah, absolutely. No shortage of targets inside 50 for the Tigers. They just haven't really been able to get the ball up there so far today. So this would do Pearce's confidence the world of good if he's able to go back and get the Tigers on the board.
So Pearce looking to hit back for the Tigers. They've conceded the first 2 goals. They desperately need one here. Pearce, in he marches, sends it on its way and just off to the left, a minor score. So Tigers on the board with a minor. The margin is 11 points as they march their way out from fullback North Launceston. A powering kick, but it is all Tigers, and Riley Ashland gets and gives it off to Husing. A ball inside is very nice for Eddie Burrows-Cheng. So Burrows-Cheng had the option to drop it off for College, ignores that. He'll have a look at things from virtually on the paint of 50. Brother Ollie, quality player in the Devils and Tigers setup. Eddie goes out to the right to give it a little more of a journey. Doesn't quite get there. Drops down. All North Launceston at the fall. And Tigers force a stoppage. So virtually in the square. It'll be a stoppage as Tigers search for their opening goal. Off hands, was gathered in the air, couldn't slap it on the boot, spills out the side, hard footy to gather. Eventually comes away off a North Launceston boot. Elmer the target, couldn't gather the footy. Tigers with the numbers, they should negotiate this. Bradburn was claimed in a good tackle, swinging tackle. And North Launceston did really well in that. They were outnumbered, managed to get themselves on top through Headland. Now it's a ruck contest to squeeze out the side. Pearton's having a big say on this game, but his kick again misses the target and finds Ashland.
It's Riley Ashland, opts to go out wide, finds Husing, decides to play on. Drive the ball towards half forward. No real target there as players converge. Again, Connor Pearton able to mop up, but a good tackle laid there by Banks Boulding. Umpire will say that ball is his. Again, plenty of bodies gravitating around to the ball. So Connor Pearton really getting his hands on the football early in this clash. Another player with senior experience behind him as that ball one down by North Launceston. The Tigers in pursuit. Stops, props. I'm not 100% sure what Josh Husing was trying to do there. He has faced the boundary line and just kicked it straight out of bounds on the full. So North Launceston to repel, but the ball only goes as far as Lewis Edwards. He wheels around on his right into the hot spot over the head of Sordy. Jordan Lane, the target, maybe dealt with. He asked the umpire the question. Some good work there by the Northern Bombers. Able to get a couple of bodies over to the ball. Drive the ball looking for Headland. Unable to get near the ball as Bradburn spills what he probably should have taken. North Launceston with a couple of numbers behind the contest. Opts to go forward, but again, the Tigers have the number. Patrick Kelly jumped up to try and punch that ball, but unable to make contact. And in the end, that is a big win for North Launceston. Ben Elmer taking the ball out of bounds for a throw in. The Tigers with the numbers and just able to get a couple of repeat entries, Gilly.
It's an arm wrestle. There's one that North Launceston are owning at the moment as the ball comes in. Slap down. Neither ruckman meaningful contact. The kick came away through Prakayak. It's a good tackle on the wing by Eddie Burrows-Cheng. Kelly first to it as he power slides over the boundary line. A bit of niggle there as he gets into Lachlan Cocker. So much riding on today's affair. The grand prize, of course, as it comes in again. The Rucks go at it at the fall. Looking for it for Northern Bombers was Evans, but he gave away a free kick. They'll make haste here, the Tigers, through Ben Graham, but his kick is picked off. Picked off well by Jacob Kerr. It goes a pokey little dangerous ball. It was dicey as they get. Edwards now, kick inside 50 is superb. Finds its intended target in Zach Adams. And he'll have a look at the sticks from about 35.
Second intercept mark we've seen from Lewis Edwards, and he's used it pretty well both times. So that was just a laser-like pass inside 50. Zach Adams able to get a bit of space.
So Zach Adams lining up. Need this one, the Tigers. Sends it on its way. It started right. It came back, but never looked like threading the needle there, Adams. The Tigers, well, they've had a couple of chances now, and they haven't made them counters. North Launceston, a bit of party time stuff there as it comes out the back. North Launceston screwed into the centre. It's cut off here by Ben Graham. He looks up for Sordy and finds the big mitts of Cooper Sordy. He wheels and goes, wastes no time, looking deep with a kick. Good fist coming. I think it was Eisel, went back with a flight. And just a timely fist. And thoughts what looked like being another promising foray for the Tigers. They've had the better of the last 5 minutes or so.
This is what the Tigers are after. Another forward stoppage. Cooper Sordy, that mark will do his confidence the world of good as that ball's run down by Cody Lowe. Finds his teammate out wide. And Ryan Whitney running out of tarmac was another Launceston player. Mark, spilled there by Banks Boulding. Probably should have taken that. It's North Launceston forced the ball over the line. We'll have another throw in half forward for the Tigers. Banks Boulding just had a bit of the ball early on. Probably should have taken that mark. But not an awful result for the Tigers as they get another look at it. Once again, it's going to be Lane competing for the Tigers up against Cody Lowe of the Northern Bombers. Connor Pearton at the foot, unable to get his hands on the ball as Michael Reynolds is there, but the Northern Bombers just hack the ball forward. Ben Elmer in a one-on-one now up against his opponent in Aidan Webster. North Launceston with the numbers as they hack the ball inside 50. It's going to be a foot race to the line. The Tigers have a couple of leaders, and they'll see that ball over for a minor score. Northern Bombers appealing for deliberate. The umpire wants none of it, so quick rebound here for the Tigers. Drives the ball out of defence. Jordan Lane's the target. Almost takes the grab on the second go. North Launceston with some numbers around the ball. Michael Reynolds competing well for the Tigers. The captain in Patrick Kelly gets the ball out wide. Jacob Lister competing at ground level for the Tigers. Again, just able to get a few numbers in as absolutely crushed there was Banks Boulding. Alex Bessel in pursuit through the middle of the ground. He's stopped by Young. Matthew Coe dishes the handball. Ben Graham, I was about to say they were going to reset, but he turns the ball over to Thomas Voon, who goes inside 50, finds Ben Elmer, able to get the ball over the top and socket through for a minor score.
That's deliberate. That is one of the more bizarre decisions.
That is as deliberate as they come. It was outside the goal square and just decided to have a strike.
No one was there. What was that? Have a look at this, Anthony Osborne. He's run through like he's playing soccer. Tried to test the keeper. That's what it looked like.
Well,
and they pop it through. It was always elementary from that point. I think it went to Big Elmer.
Harry Rand, I think, that one.
Harry Rand, no, you're right. I shouldn't doubt you. But that was a bizarre decision. And you just wonder whether that's a bit of grand final day nerves at all. So you see the goal itself was pretty straightforward. Absolutely gifted that one.
He got good purchase on it too, did Ben Graham. And it looks like there's been a free kick in the middle of the ground. So things just unravelling a little bit for the Tigers here as North Launceston drive the ball inside 50. Mark almost taken. The Tigers try to hack the ball off the ground, but Headland wheels around on his left and kicks another one for the Northern Bombers. Danger times here for the Tigers. 2 goals in 30 seconds. Some ill discipline just creeping in now for Kingborough. And North Launceston are making them pay.
This is a real shame for the Tigers because they had a really bright 5 minutes and they didn't put it on the scoreboard at all. And then North Launceston in a flash through some poor decision making. Gone down the other end. This is a really sharp finish from Dylan Headland. Played some senior footy last year, perhaps even the year before. So North Launceston with the early break. 4-goal lead as it stands deep in the first quarter. Difficult proposition now for the Tigers. For all their good work, they've got nothing to show for it at this point. It's down off hands. It's really strong tackle in the middle. They bustle into each other. At the bottom of that was Alex Bessel. He loves to tackle, as you said. Anthony Osborne, Low and Lane at it again. Lane down for the runners and another crunching tackle. Matthew Coe this time. Getting in and under. Up it goes again. Just short of the ruckman. Lane helps it on its way. Bustling in for the Tigers was Willoughby. The umpire's seen something. I think it was high. They wanted to play on, but the umpire, Sam Bridges, having none of that. Of course, a big day for the umpires as well. If you're part of the select few to crack the grand final, it says you've had a pretty good year in, I guess it's green, in the green. As the kick comes away from Edwards. He's looking out onto left half forward. His target out there was listed, never found him. The hat kick out of defence from North Launceston is cut off from Ben Graham, and he's been pretty good outside of that bizarre kick just a moment ago. The kick into forward 50 was almost cut off by Stewart. He was crunched into, brought it to the floor. Now North Launceston look to negotiate through hands. Stewart gets the hat kick out there. Again, Ben Graham. He's rebounding off half-back with aplomb today. The kick inside forward 50, slapped away by Eisel. He bustles into one. Eisel's done pretty well there. Kicks it out of there. Kicks it into the middle. Looking for a target in Sanders, and he has to butter up and tackle. A dive in again. Good tackle from Lockie Young for North Launceston. It'll be a stoppage. Middle of the ground, Blunston Arena. 4-goal advantage the way of North Launceston.
Tell you what, the way Ben Graham's played the last 2 minutes, he's certainly trying to make up for his brain fade, I think. Plenty of the football. But North Launceston again bring the ball inside 50. Headland probably should have taken that. He had a lot of space, unable to complete the mark. Good pressure laid there by Banks Boulding. to draw a stoppage. The ball up just forward of centre, but just inside the forward 50 of the Northern Bombers. But North Launceston just able to get their hands on the football and drive the ball nice and quickly, putting the Tigers' defence under immense pressure. So that ball just tapped over the back. Michael Reynolds hacks the ball forward looking for a target. Unable to find someone, but a good tackle laid by Matthew Code. Alex Bessel in pursuit. Gets it on the second go. He's got Eddie Burrows-Cheng for company. So he just sees the ball over the line. As Bessel exchanges pleasantries with Lockie Cocker before making his way from the field. But the Tigers, they really just need a reset now.
Crowd building here at Launceston Arena. Of course, one of 3 games this afternoon. The ball comes in again. Lane over the top. That was a strong slap down. Caught in a tackle. I think it was Graham again. No, it was
Mitchell Lister.
Lister.
A few tensions
Bit
here.
of niggle has caught my eye. It's the emergency ump. Big day for the emergency ump. Get yourself in there front and centre. It always seems a little more niggle in grand final days. Bustling on through. That's really sharp stuff. Caught in a tackle. Underneath all that was Micah Reynolds, of course, played a fair bit of TSL footy himself. A couple of times got the job on Mitch Thorpe and done a pretty good job as Lowe taps down for his runners. Isel files out a handball. The kick miscued off the boot of Haley, and they're across. He's given away a free here, Haley. Wouldn't mind seeing the replay.
Yeah, here we go.
We'll have a look on the replay. So it's after this unfolds. It was a miscue kick.
Yeah, so it's a 50-metre penalty here for
Haley. So Haley goes wacky. He's fair punched him in the chin there.
So Burrows-Cheng is now going to have a shot on goal, and there's still stuff going on the wing here between Foon and Webster. Riley Ashland, I should say, not Webster.
That'll be looked at. So Eddie Burrows-Cheng gifted a shot on goal. This is exactly what Tigers need to get back in this ball game. 35 out. He sprays it out to the left. Did not register a score. That is disappointing for Kingborough. Things just not going their way. So the long raking ball out of defence. The fly has come. Jordan Lane nearly took it down. He fights with his opposing 28 in Rand. It'll be a ball up. Not far from the 50 line. Left half forward for the Tigers. Say they need a goal, Anthony Osborne, is an absolute gross understatement.
Absolutely. Dying stages of this opening term. Jordan Lane wins that one down only as far as Isel. Again, the Tigers just trying to extract the football, but the pressure from North Launceston has been immense. Hack kick outside defensive 50 there from Jacob Kerr, and North Launceston are out as Thomas Foon drives the ball inside 50 looking for Elmer one-on-one. Banks Balding does a decent job, but Elmer able to still get some meterage as the siren sounds. The Tigers, they'll be breathing a sigh of relief. North Launceston again in a dangerous position, but at quarter time in the Development League at Grand Final, the Tigers 2 behinds. They have plenty of work to do, trailing North Launceston 4-1-25.
Yeah, fascinating first term. A first term that belongs to North Launceston, but it could have looked a whole lot different. It was one where Tigers had a really bright sort of 5-minute patch where they had a couple of really good looks on goal and just didn't put it on the scoreboard. Found their set shot goal kicking really tough in that term. And at the other end, North Launceston were pretty ruthless in front of the sticks. 4 goals on the board. They were gifted one through a brain fade from Ben Graham. I'm not sure what he was thinking. He was outside the square. He came in, arrived on the scene and socketed it through for a behind. There was a brain fade that was costly. Then they got a free kick straight out of the middle, and then they put that on the board with a really sharp chance from Headland. And at the other end, they just aren't finding their way through the big sticks, really miscuing their efforts on goal, Anthony Osborne.
Yeah, certainly. As you touched on that little period that the Tigers had dominance, just unable to capitalise. If we see that replay of the Ben Graham brain fade, I seriously just don't know what was going through his head, to be honest there, Gilly. I think, as you mentioned at the time, that probably just put it down to the pressure and some grand final nerves. Not his best moment. I still think he was probably one of the Tigers' better performers
He's
across
probably
the
one
quarter.
of the better players on the ground, but he's given them a goal. So you sort of need to put that asterisk against him. And then this was a really sharp goal from Headland. You can see him just outside the...
Just as the dulcet tones of Damien Gill going over the...
I wasn't happy with that. I wasn't happy with that. I could hear myself, and it made it tough going. Apologies for the pause mid-sentence. Not sure what our audio specialist was doing there. But anyway, so Tigers, 0 goals, 2. North Launceston, 4 goals, 1. And a really healthy lead for the Bombers. What do the Tigers do in that second stanza? Do they shake anything up in terms of, I guess, match-ups, throw someone else into the middle? I think for a large part, outside the start of the game where North Launceston had really good field position, it was a fair arm wrestle. But North Launceston were just more ruthless inside 450.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you saw that Dylan Headland goal just before, taking a real half chance and making it count on the scoreboard. In regards to the Tigers, I think some of their ball winners have been able to really get themselves into the game. As you mentioned, Ben Graham before, Alex Bessel's had a little bit of it, Zach Adams as well. But I just think North Launceston, Connor Pearton is becoming a real danger man for them. He's been able to get his hands on the ball a lot. Thomas Foon across half forward has been a really dangerous link man as well. Just think the Tigers are going to have to really, when they do get their chances, make the most of them. If they can get their hands on the ball first, really make it pay and drive the ball forward. We've seen North Launceston move the ball quickly inside 50, and it's really put the Tigers' defence under pressure. The Tigers probably been a little slower with their forward entry, so that's something they'll probably look at into the second term.
So that is the equation as it sits at quarter time. We'll have a brief break from commentary, be back very shortly for the second quarter. So back for the second term. Back for the second term here at Blunston Arena. 0-2-2 the Tigers. North Launceston 4-1-25. The goal kickers Sanders, Foon, Rand and Headland, all singles. Who have you fancied as the dominant players on the ground, Anthony Osborne.
Yeah, I reckon Connor Pearton really worked his way into the game, particularly across the back end of that opening term, getting plenty of the ball across half back. I think the battle between Cody Lowe and Jordan Lane's been really interesting. Lowe looks to really be making his presence felt right around the ground. I think Dylan Headland's looked lively inside 50, as does Thomas Foon. But yeah, I reckon the main one for me so far has probably been Connor Pearton. For the Tigers, I think Micah Reynolds has competed pretty well down in defence, and when he's almost had a bit of a pinch hit through the midfield on a couple of occasions as well. Actually, you can see him lining up in the midfield now. Burris Cheng probably hasn't quite got going today. He's had a couple of chances but hasn't been able to make them.
He's in the middle there.
So I think the Tigers have some players that we know can lift, and they'll be hoping they get lifts out of those real leaders of the team, like Burris Cheng, into this second term.
They need a really good start in this second quarter. I mean, it goes without saying, really. They've yet to hit the scoreboard in a big way. They've played some pretty good stuff, which would be the disappointment of the coach at this point in time. But they need it, stack it on the scoreboard. So often in grand finals, it's about who takes their opportunities. So the second quarter, Blunston Arena, Development League Grand Final. Kingborough Tigers, North Launceston, Anthony Osborne.
So Micah Reynolds to compete in the ruck for the Tigers, up against Cody Lowe. Might be a positional shift that we'll see. Wins the tap down, does Reynolds, quite decisively. So Alex Bessel wheels around on his right, drives the ball towards half forward. Intended target there is Pearce, unable to complete the transaction, but Lewis Edwards just burrows himself in. Jacob Lister gets the handball over the top. Reynolds is there, gets his hands on the ball and just hacks it forward. Some dangerous areas here for North Launceston. Tigers under the pump. Code dishes it out wide. Flying shot on goal from the Tigers. Just goes through for a minor score. Jackson Keogh just looked lively with ball in hand. That one just going to the right-hand side. North Launceston to bring the ball back in, but promising signs in this second term for the Tigers as that ball drives to its way to half forward. Burris Cheng is in pursuit, but the umpire's whistle held off the ball. It was a North Launceston player, so the Northern Bombers through the middle of the ground. Got some numbers just flooding forward now to North Launceston. Drives the ball out wide. Jaden Harris. He's got another runner further wide in Cooper Stewart. They've switched the ball from wing to wing. A lovely ball by Stewart. That has fair hit his teammate in the box there for North Launceston as the Tigers generate some drive through Burrows Cheng, only as far as half forward. North Launceston mopping it up, but Micah Reynolds just using his size to work his way through the contest. Tigers, their forward pressure looks to have really gone up a level. Pearton,
nice.
Really snazzy stuff from Connor Pearton as he drives the ball towards the centre of the ground. Unable to complete the transaction was Max College. North Launceston with numbers. Young probably had his prior opportunity. The umpire agrees. Alex Bessel with some lovely tackle pressure.
Bessel moves it onto the wing looking for Lane. He caught one. Bit of a ear massage there from Andy Potter.
I think Jordan Lane's gone with the grand final day trim as well, Gilly.
Yeah, it's that time of the year. Barbers around Hobart will be licking their lips as Lane drives it long to the hot spot. Flying was Sorty. Oh. 2 bites of the cherry and he takes it. Dumped afterwards. March him to the line, umpire. I think he will. There's a bit of niggle. We'll see this one again. Sorty flew highest. And yep, he'll be marched to the goal line. So here will be the Tigers' first in this Development League Grand Final. Very casual approach from Cooper Sorty. His 44th goal of the season and perhaps his most needed.
Yeah, it's a really important goal for the Tigers. Not convinced that Cooper Sorty was the only player to get his hands on that ball, but really did well. He's such a strong mark, and he was obviously never going to miss that goal after being marched to the goal line. That's really important. The Tigers, with a couple of looks at it early in the second term, they get their first goal of the morning. 139 plays 4-1-25. Early running in the second quarter. So I've seen this a fair bit from the Tigers. They've just rotated their ruckman again, so it looks like they've had another shift. We've seen Reynolds, Lane, Sorty, Banks Balding, quite a few players go through there. Looking to just continue to change that up as umpire Bridges starts proceedings again. That one down there by Banks Balding. Got some runners out wide. Lucas Griggs Drives the ball towards half forward. Matthew Codes thereabouts, as is Michael Reynolds, another player who's been all over the field today. It's Jacob Lister wrapped up in a good tackle. Good pressure there from the Northern Bombers. The umpire's whistle, free kick, incorrect disposal. So North Launceston, just to reset things at half back. Dangerous ball through the middle, cut off there. Really good work from Patrick Kelly. The captain of the Tigers continues to paddle the ball forward into the forward pocket. Almost has a shot on goal. Has that ball been kept in? It has. And the Northern Bombers with a couple of nervous moments get the ball out of defensive 50, but it might just come back in. Alex Bessel, some crafty work from the youngster as he drives the ball towards the goal line. Alex Bessel, take a bow. That is a sensational finish. He's won 2 games off his own boot in the Development League this year with running goals on the pain of 50, and that is as important a goal as he would have kicked in his career so far. The Tigers, with the 2 goals so far in this second quarter, just got the ball from traffic, kicked it from the pain of 50, and it's just gone over the line. Excellent work from Alex Bessel, and that's a big boost for the Tigers.
That was a terrific individual effort. Great reward for Alex Bessel. He started this quarter with significant intent. A 10-point margin now, so they've cut it significantly, the Tigers, and we're back in the middle, and we're straight out of the middle, courtesy of Adams. He drives along. Again, it's a mark inside forward 50 for the Tigers. This time it was Michael Reynolds, but he was smothered at the crucial moments we see on the replay. Reynolds over the back with a good catch and kick, but terrific smother. So the ball to be brought back in right half forward. The Tigers surging here at Launceston Arena. So ball in. Doesn't reach low. At the fall, it was gathered by Griggs. He ran into trouble. Pearton just kicks it out of danger. Almost a mark for the Tigers. Now from Adams. Now it's Graham. Nice ball inside, looking for Code. It was cut off, and they're rebounding with haste here, North Launceston. Sanders with the finishing touches finds Jake Smith. So Smith a long way from home. Pokes over the top to find Mason Garb. Doesn't quite get to him. It was well read in the finish by Rayhana. He cut it off and punched along. And in the end, sees it out of play. Centre wing, far side in front of the hill here at Launceston Arena. Tigers have made their move in the second quarter. 2 goals to none to cut the margin to 10 points, and we are game on.
It's a boundary throw in, out of side. One down by neither ruckman, just goes over the top. Sanders and Bessel in pursuit. Alex Bessel almost lays the tackle, but North Launceston do well. They've got numbers running through the middle of the ground here in North Launceston. Hacked ball towards forward 50. Tigers with some numbers there, but really under the pump. As North Launceston come in with reinforcements, we'll have the ball up just inside North Launceston's attacking 50. This game's just gone up a notch. We saw a fair bit of tension late in that opening term. That ball's one down only as far as North Launceston opponent, Jake Smith. Again, the ball just bouncing around everywhere at the moment. Neither team able to take clean disposal. That is a dangerous kick there from the Tigers. So free kick against Mitchell Lister. Just kicking in danger. North Launceston with a real look at it here as Connor Pearton just pops the ball inside 50. Had a target running there in Elmer, unable to complete the mark. The Tigers, if they're able to pick this ball up, will be away. Patrick Kelly wrapped up in a good tackle. Just able to get the hands away. But again, North Launceston able to reset. He played on. He was tackled. Not sure how he got rid of the ball. North Launceston just popped the ball inside 50. Again, players everywhere. Flying shot on goal. North Launceston, goal! Fantastic finish. And the Northern Bombers make the most of an opportunity, a real half chance. As we take a look at the replay. Again, a really good tackle from the Tigers.
Not sure Cody Lowe played on, though, did he?
The Tiger was hot on his heels as we see this ball coming inside 50 again. Unable to complete the mark.
No.
Number 28.
Harry Randy, second.
So Harry Rand kicks his second, a really sharp finish. Like North Launceston did in that opening term, making the most of a little half chance. And that is a goal against the flow of play, it must be said, Damien Gill. That's an important one for the Northern Bombers.
Important they hit back and just arrest some of that momentum. So goal to Rand. Bounce down the centre of Launceston Arena. What do the Tigers have in reply? Up it goes. The Rucks go at it low. Taps out onto the wing. Fisted down by Lanham. Now it's with the runners. That was an interesting old kick from Mason Garvey. He didn't find his target with it. The old wrong hand drop. Not the most attractive. Rarely the most effective. This quarter is almost 9 minutes old. We've got a beauty on our hands as it comes in again. Rucks jewel it out. It's down at the fall and gathered by Lanham. He spills it clear to Mason Garb. Gets his kick away. It's a tumbler to half forward. First on the scene was Foon. Just parallel in the path of Elmer. He's crunched in a tackle. It'll be a stoppage right on the edge of the square. So Harry ran 2 goals. Major goal kicker on the ground as Lowe brings it down. It was gathered by the opposition, but not for long. Foon squirts out a handball, punched on. Really clever stuff. Now we've got Whitney with some space to go to work. He was kicking deep, looking for Elmer. Didn't find its way there as it bounces out of play. It'll be a forward half stoppage. Big Elmer says, I'll take the ruck here. He'll be duking out with Banks Balding. Double-barreled last name as Elmer just deals with Banks Balding. Almost got his kick away. It was blocked. Lanham paddled into the path of Pearton. He dives. I think looking for in the back. Just shoved off the footy there was Whitney. Now they move it out, Tigers. Ooh. Just a little bit of fumbly when it mattered most. It was Michael Reynolds. Sorry, not Michael Reynolds. Max College.
Just saw 3 or 4 efforts there for the Tigers from Zach Adams. Smother, bump off the ball. Really good work from him, just doing the 1%ers to try and just arrest this little stretch North Launceston having.
Comes in again, lane down. Quick kick out of there by Adams, and it trickles out to the boundary line.
So boundary throw in, right in front of the interchange gates. So Lucas Griggs run onto the field for North Launceston, as does Alex Bessel. Ball falls quite short there. The boundary throw in. Crunch there between 2 players, but the Tigers able to, just with a little bit of composure, get the ball forward through Max College. Got a couple of targets there. Really well there. I think that was Sorty. Goes in again, runs the ball out of bounds. With the boundary throw in as Sorty changes a couple of pleasantries. When he has been able to get a run at it, he's looked super dangerous as the competition's leading goal kicker. So another boundary throw in. Half forward for the Tigers. One down by Jordan Lane. Almost brought it down with 2 hands as he competes again. In a tussle. Young at the bottom of the pack for North Launceston. The umpire will take that one again. Another ball up. Plenty of stoppages in this game. 12 minutes gone in the second quarter. North Launceston with the advantage. Down to Burrows Cheng there from Jordan Lane. Immediately wrapped up in a tackle. Just starting to get his hands on the football is Burrows Cheng.
The Tigers have been better this quarter, Anthony, but a bit fumbly.
Yep. Yeah, North Launceston have certainly looked clean. That ball one down only as far as Young. Bessel picks it up, dishes the handball off, looking for his teammate in Keogh. North Launceston again with the numbers. Bessel does well, gets the ball on his right boot. A really good kick, almost finds his target. So the Tigers just reset. Matt Code, not his best work. He was looking for Godomski over the top, unable to get enough purchase on the kick as the Northern Bombers rebound from defensive 50.
Here's Pearton. Eventually gathers, squirts out the wrong way for him though. Godomski inside forward 50. Good kick, good mark. It's taken by Pearce. And he'll look to get the Tigers 3rd on the board. So Pearce, as said before, been one of the big goal threats for this team. Kicked 31 before today's grand final. March on in, off the left boot, send it on its way. It was always fizzing out to the right and found its way into the behind post, and it's a minus score. the way of the Tigers. Kick out. Luckily, Young had time to deal with it. Farmed out over the side. North Lonnie have made that harder than it needed to be, but it ends in Jaden Harris's arms. So Harris now kicks long onto a wing. Haley out there, who's the target, brings it down. Headland breezes through. He's claimed in a great tackle from Godomski. He's been rewarded. Godomski into him. So it'll be a Tigers ball. Incorrect disposal is what was called. So it comes long now. The Flyers go for it. Breezing through. There he is. It was dropped off nicely. Kick now on goal. A well-finished off goal by Husing. He picked it up from Jack Pearce, who, to be honest, created the goal. And the Tigers, they're on the march here.
Yeah, well called there, Gilly. Pearce did really well. Let's take a look at the replay. The high fly, just able to get himself through the pack, and a lovely finish from Husing. He could have blazed away, but had the composure to take a couple of extra steps, and the outside of the boot kicked the Tigers' third goal. Third goal for the quarter. 3-4-22. Plays North Launceston 5-1-31 to approach the 15-minute mark of this second quarter. It's important for the Tigers, and their sake, to really make the most of these opportunities. We saw they were good early in the term. North Launceston able to wrestle back a little bit of control. And that's a really important goal for the Tigers, just to steady things. 9 points adrift.
That's a shocker.
I know you're big on the bouncing of the ball in the middle of the ground, Gilly.
Bin the bounce.
Not even
grand final. Start a campaign. Maybe the first one. I'll give you. You can start the game with one, but you'd want to nail it. As we're back in the middle again. Spills through Kelly's hands. Pearton's been enormous. Gets his kick away. Looking for the intended target there of Young. Sprays out a handball. Hard footy to gather. Eventually Bessel does. Drops it off. It was head-high contact. It will be a free kick going the way of Max College. Running the long sleeves today. Interesting choice on a day like today. Pretty warm as College spots up a really nice kick. It was Edwards going through the middle, but equal to it was the North Launceston defender. And it finds its way back in enemy territory. Kelly does well over the top for Godomski. He powers one forward, a juggling mark taken from Jaden Harris. He cut off the earlier foray and he picks out a kick with perfection to Harry Rand. He's kicked two already. He's now on centre wing. Spots up one in the middle. Nice ball to find his target there in Whitney. Whitney just finds a leader. That is Cossins. Produced a really nice kick a little early. He just pokes this one for the lead of Elmer. It was terrific work from Ben Graham. Came from nowhere and provided the crucial spoil to deny Elmer. It was a good lead and looked a good kick, but look at this from Graham. No, not today, says Graham.
Some really good moments has been Graham.
And some poor ones, it must be said.
As well. Absolutely. Just keeping an eye on Godomski up against Matthew Cousins at the moment. Looks to be a really interesting matchup as that ball is one down by Cody Lowe. Running around, there's a bit of space there for Young as he just hacks the ball on his right boot, snaps the ball inside 50. Dangerous areas here for the Tigers. Almost a shot on goal, but a goal-saving tackle from Webster, I think. Aiden Webster it was. Really good work from him. Saved what was almost a certain goal. Pearce to Bessel. Lewis Edwards with a bit of space, but he's immediately beset upon. Goes to half forward looking for Reynolds, but a strong mark taken. Really well done by Andy Potter. Stood his ground and outmuscled Micah Reynolds, which isn't an easy thing to do. He spots up his captain in Matthew Cossins, half back. Drives the ball out wide. The helmeted Cooper Stewart moves around on the right. Oh, piercing ball. Lovely work to Connor Pearton. He goes over the top, finds his teammate in Jacob Kerr. Unable to pick it up cleanly. Good smother laid there by Max College, who then gathers the ball. Drives it high up and under, just a real floater to half back. Bessel unable to complete the transaction. Cooper Sordy in the same boat. Really well done there by Cocker. Goes to inside 50. Just misreading it there were the Northern Bombers, and the mark is taken by Riley Ashland.
He had to wait for it, Ashland. He did well. It was a bit of a slips catch. He kicks long in the Lister direction, but it's cut off by the shorter Oliver Sanders. Kicked a really good goal in the first term. Hasn't had heaps of it in this second. off that reliable left. Cut off. But here's Elmer. Tries one on the outside of the right. Couldn't come back far enough. A minor score. So North Launceston, second behind of the game, makes it an even 10 points from full-back Ben Graham. He's not sure what to do, really. In the end, he gives it some air. Out on that far side, looking for Lister. Lister gathers. His handball is ill-directed. Paddling was young. Just pops it up. Falls into Tiger hands, and they power it out through a torp. Almost cut off there by the Northern Bombers. In fact, it is in the end. Cossins out. Finds Stewart. Stewart shakes off a would-be tackle. Kick inside forward 50. Stewart, Elmer, hands to it. Couldn't complete the job. Coming through is Graham again. Finds a handball target. Gets it out. Block ball. Terrific stuff, North Launceston. Deserved a goal. Will Haley went the scrubber, and it found its way into the post. And now Ben Graham bounds away from full back.
Really quick look there from Ben Graham, but only as far as Ollie Sanders. The Tigers were out if he was able to hit a target. Lovely ball from Sanders. You touched on that pre-game, Gilly. Lovely disposal by foot. He finds a target inside 50. So the Northern Bombers just reset, looking in the Elmer direction. Running back with the flight. Courageous stuff there. I think that was Lister. Brave work from Lister, and the umpire, he said, holding the ball.
Tigers have done well to negotiate that. We see it again. It was Lister. Went over the top. Terrific stuff. So the Tigers now in defence. Look to bring it out. A powering kick right down the spine. Flying was Adams. Couldn't bring it down. North Launceston through Cossins now. Switches it onto the opposing wing. Here's Lowe. Lowe looks up. Crowded half forward. Looks to poke into the pocket. Fantastic kick. Right on his chest. It's Will Haley. So Haley hugging the boundary. Angle very acute. Would take a darn good kick. You expect he might to pop this at the top of the square. He doesn't. He goes for goal and never looked like finding its way through. Out on the full. So it'll be Tigers' ball from the last line. It's Ben Graham. Pokey ball over the top will find the skipper in Kelly. He tells the Tigers to cool the jets. They're 11 points adrift. Actually, I think it's only 10. So it goes on to the wing. Fisted down. Coming through was Young. Won the ball well for North Launceston. But coming the other way with haste were the Tigers. Through Lister. A bouncing ball. It's all North Launceston though. They should negotiate it through Potter. He goes for a spearing pass. Hot to handle. Here comes Lowe. Tackle coming the other way was Bradburn. Shook off him and moved the ball further up the line. So it is an 11-point margin as it stands. The way of the Northern Bombers, who have hit the road and been ultra impressive in this encounter. First two games involving the Northern Bombers today. Is this a slap down from Lowe? Tackle immediately applied by Michael Reynolds. If I can get my words out. Ball up again. Far side. Bellreeve Oval. Slipping through the fingers of Lowe. Sprays out the back. It was well gathered, really well gathered by Pearce. I've liked his game. A little one over the top. Just breezed through the fingers. Coming back the other way now is Cossins. He looks to kick into the middle, but it's cut off through Griggs. Griggs now inside forward 50, laying the target. Hands to it at the fall is Sorty. Sorty, a tumbler, and a tumbler through. Terrific, sharp chance taken by Sorty. His second of the afternoon, and he cuts the margin again as this Tiger charge in the second term continues. As we'll see on the replay, there's a very sharp crumb here from Sorty. Straight on it in a flash. Kicked it low enough so it was always going to just skittle on through. And the Tigers are back in town in a big way. 4-4-28. They trail North Launceston 5-3-33 4-goal term. 2 of them to Cooper Sorty, leading goal kicker in the competition. He's exerting himself. I think it's going to be, I don't know if that was a warning for 666. It's going to be thrown up by umpire Sam Bridges. I don't know whether he just doesn't have confidence in his bouncing, as it's down off hands of Michael Reynolds. That'll be kicking in danger. You don't see it too often, but that one was there. Go the way of Adams. So Adams out of the middle of Blunston Arena, looking to half forward. Flying will be Pearce. He did well amongst 3 Bombers. Good tackle applied there from Edwards. Squirts out the side. Luckily for Northern Bombers, but that kick is a shocker. An absolute shocker. Invites in Ben Graham. It was off the boot of Kerr, and he just miscued it. It was a little too cute. Ben Graham gives it some air, looking for the runners. It was Pearce who brought it down. Edwards fisted it on, just looking for territory. Good tackle from Sorty. He's got some confidence. Low squeezes a ball out. Clever ball. Finds Mason Garb. They're away now, the Bombers. Not for long, says College. Big fist in. Cuts it off. Now they'll run towards goal through Cocker. He kicks, looking for a deep target in Elmer. Elmer buttles up with a good tackle. A great tackle, and Elmer might have just created himself a goal. So we'll see on the replay. It was a deep kick coming from Cocker. Was sort of looking there for Smith. In the end, it was Elmer who butted up with a terrific tackle. And now, as the siren sounds for half time, he'll have a look. And he comes. It'd be a crucial goal just to keep that handy buffer for the Bombers. They've been bettered in this second term. He gives it some serious air. He's happy with it. He's trying to fire up the boys as they enter the sheds at half-time with a handy lead. It was a quarter that belonged to the Tigers, though. Must be said, 4 goals to 2 in that term. And we've got a ball game, but it is an 11-point lead for North Launceston, and that goal right on the edge of half-time could prove crucial, Anthony Osborne.
Yeah, absolutely. Dying seconds of the quarter, and Ben Elmer did really well, able to hit the scoreboard. As you said, the Tigers really controlled most of that quarter, but North Launceston, I think they'll be happy that they're able to absorb a lot of that pressure and still go into the sheds with a handy 11-point advantage. The quarter did belong to the Tigers. They'll come into the second half full of confidence, but yeah, that late goal has probably just thwarted a little bit of their momentum.
Has indeed. It's an 11-point lead for the Northern Bombers. They're better players. I've liked the work of Connor Pearton for mine. I think he's been terrific. For the Tigers, I've liked your boy Alex Bessel. He's had a good game. Cooper Sorty inside forward 50, 2 goals so far. Ben Graham off half back has been terrific. Like the game of Jack Pearce as well, being fantastic inside forward 50. I think North Lonnie have probably been a bit more even.
Yep.
Oliver Sanders has looked good when he's had the footy. Probably hasn't found enough of it just yet. Matthew Cossins has done some nice things. At times, Jaden Harris has been important off half-back. Thomas Foon started really well. But they've still got plenty of upside, I think, North Launceston. And Ben Elmer, he's looked dangerous when the ball's got in his area. He's the sort of player that will bob up and have a 3-goal quarter and turn the game.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a very good player at Development League level. When he's played at senior TSL level, he's been really good as well. Again, just speaking to the strength as the Tigers depart the field to a round of applause. But yeah, Ben Elmer, I think he's one of the players who could really break the game open in the second half. But touched on a little bit before, I guess the forward setup that the Tigers have. Got quite a few targets in there in Pearce, Sorty, Jordan Lane when he's up there as well. So I think they'll certainly favour themselves. The conditions at the moment still just pretty good, it must be said. The rain's expected a little bit later in the day, so we should have a pretty entertaining second half coming up.
So an 11-point lead to the Northern Bombers, but the Tigers roared right back into the game in that second quarter. A 4-goal to 2 term has set up what should be a cracking contest. Stay with us. We'll have a brief break from commentary here at Blunston Arena, but it's all to play for still between these two teams in the Development League Grand Final.
It's under the pump. Code dishes it out wide. Flying shot on goal from the Tigers. Just goes through for a minor score. Jackson Keogh. Another runner further wide in Cooper Stewart. They've switched the ball from wing to wing. A lovely ball by Stewart. That has fair hit his teammate in the box there for North Launceston. His size to work his way through the contest. Tigers, their forward pressure looks to have really gone up a level. Pearton,
nice.
Really snazzy stuff from Connor Pearton as he drives the ball towards the centre of the ground.
Hobart will be licking their lips as Lane drives it long to the hot spot. Flying was Sorty. 2 bites of the cherry and he takes it. Dumped afterwards. March him to the line, umpire. In this Development League Grand Final, very casual approach from Cooper Sorty. His 44th goal of the season. And
as is Michael Reynolds, another player who's been all over the field today. Jacob Lister wrapped up in a good tackle. Good pressure there from the Northern Bombers. The umpire's whistle, free kick, incorrect to set things at half back. Dangerous ball through the middle, cut off there. Really good work from Patrick Kelly, the captain of the Tigers, continues to paddle the ball forward into the forward. Of nervous moments, get the ball out of defensive 50, but it might just come back in. Alex Bessel, some crafty work from the youngster as he drives the ball towards the goal line. Alex Bessel, take a bow. That is a sensational finish. He's won 2 games off his own.
And we're straight out of the middle, courtesy of Adams. He drives long. Again, it's a mark inside forward 50 for the Tigers. This time, it was Mason Garb. Doesn't quite get to him. It was well read in the finish by Rayhana. He cut it off and punched along. And in the end, sees it out.
Wrapped up in a good tackle. Just able to get the hands away. But again, North Launceston able to reset. He played on. He was tackled. Not sure how he got rid of the ball. Not just able to get the hands away. But again, North Launceston able to reset. He played on. He was tackled. Not sure how he got rid of the ball. North Launceston just popped the ball inside 50. Again, players everywhere. Flying shot on goal. North Launceston. Goal. Fantastic finish.
Just shoved off the footy there was Whitney. Now they move it out, Tigers. Just a little bit of fumbly when it mattered most. It was Michael Rent.
Bessel picks it up, dishes the handball off, looking for his teammate in Keogh. North Launceston again with the numbers. Bessel does well, gets the ball on his right boot. A really good kick, almost finds his target. So Tigers just reset. Matt Code, not his best work. He was looking for Godomski.
Squirts out the wrong way for him though. Godomski inside forward 50. Good kick, good mark. It's taken by Pearce. March on in, off the left boot. Send it on its way. It was always fizzing out to the right and found its way into the behind post. And it kicks long onto a wing. Haley out there, who's the target, brings it down. Headland breezes through. He's claimed in a great tackle from Godomski. He's been rewarded. Comes long now. The Flyers go forward, breezing through. There he is. It was dropped off nicely. Kick now on goal. A well finished off goal by Husing. He picked it up from Jack Pearce, who, to be honest, created the goal. And the Tigers produced a really nice kick a little early. He just pokes this one for the lead of Elmer. It was terrific work from Ben Graham. Came from nowhere and provided the...
Running around, there's a bit of space there for Young as he just hacks the ball on his right boot, snaps the ball inside 50. Dangerous areas here for the Tigers. Almost a shot on goal, but a goal-saving tackle from Webster, I think. Aiden Webster and Cooper Sorty in the same boat. Really well done there by Cocker. Goes to inside 50. Just misreading it there were the Northern Bombers, and the mark is...
Complete the job. Coming through is Graham again. Finds a handball target. Gets it out. Block ball. Terrific stuff, North Launceston. Deserved a goal. Will Haley went the scrubber. And it
Quick look there from Ben Graham, but only as far as Ollie Sanders. Tigers were out if he was able to hit a target. Lovely ball from Sanders. You touched on that pre-game, Gilly. Lovely disposal by... Finds a target inside 50. So Northern Bombers just reset, looking in the Elmer direction. Running back with the flight. Courageous stuff there. I think that was Lister.
In defence. Looked to bring it out. A powering kick right down the spine. Flying was Adams. Couldn't bring it down. North Launceston through Cossins. Low looks up. Crowd and half forward. Looks to poke into the pocket. Fantastic kick. Right on his chest. It's Will Hay. Griggs. Griggs now inside forward 50. Lane the target. Hands to it at the full is Sorty. Sorty a tumbler. And a tumbler through. Terrific, sharp chance taken by Sorty. His second of the afternoon. And he cuts the margin again as this Tiger charge in the second term. Looking to half forward. Flying will be Pearce. He did well amongst three bombers. Good tackle applied there from Edwards. Squirts out the side. Luckily for Northern, says College. Big fist in, cuts it off. Now they'll run towards goal through Cocker. He kicks, looking for a deep target in Elmer. Elmer battles up with a good tackle. A great tackle, and Elmer, they've been bettered in this second term. He gives it some serious air. He's happy with it. He's trying to fire up the boys as they enter the sheds at half-time with a handy lead. It was a quarter that belonged. So back with the second half here from Launceston Arena. It is game on. North Launceston had the early running. Tigers roared back into contention in that quarter with 4 goals to 2. 2 of them coming from Cooper Sorty. A really nice goal from Alex Bessel. It's probably the main feature of that term. Sweet, prepared to go to battle once more. Anthony Osborne, who do you favour? I know your tip at the start of the day was the Tigers. I was going North Lonnie just. I'm feeling pretty comfortable with my tip. What about yours?
Yeah, I think North Lonnie have been the better side for the majority of the contest. We saw the Tigers really get some momentum for most of that second quarter, but North Lonnie still going into the sheds with an 11-point advantage. So I think North Lonnie will be the team to beat in the second half, but the Tigers, they're still certainly in with a shot. But yeah, I think North Launceston look to be the better team so far today.
As the two teams huddle up and the spectators make their way off the ground. One of the great joys of local footy is seeing just people sprawl onto the ground in the major break and have a kick. Some of the younger Devils prospects roaming around. I saw Hugh Dixon in the crowd just before, in to see his beloved Tigers. Of course, debuted for Fremantle back end of the season. Hoping for a big year in 2020. Right now, it's the Development League Grand Final for 2019, and at the moment it belongs to the Bombers. As we prepare for the second half, Anthony. We were talking about better plays in the break off air, and it's been a little harder than usual to sort of pick out the gems. I think Connor Pearton's been a standout for mine. I've liked his game. I think Ben Elmer's one that looms, as well as Tom Foom. Cody Lowe's done pretty well in the ruck for the Tigers. Ben Graham, outside of one of the almighty brain fades, has been very good. Yeah,
he's actually played like a man possessed after conceding that goal. Kicking it straight through, obviously deliberately, and North Launceston capitalising. Alex Bessel, as you mentioned before, has been good. I think he probably can get a lift out of a couple of the guys, though. Eddie Burris-Chang started to work his way into the game late in that second quarter, starting this term off the ground, but he's a player that I think we can expect a big lift from in this third quarter.
So here we go, first bounce of the second half. As Lowe loses his footing and they breeze it out of the middle, courtesy of Bessel. Kick looking for Sorty. Oh, he dropped one he should have taken. Paddles into the path of a teammate. It was a kick away. Deep forward. It'll be negotiated. That was a little more convincing than the effort of Graham. That's what they're talking to. It was a Jack Pearce ball that went deep. Negotiated by North Launceston. Now in the middle, arms of Foon. He finds Pearton. Pearton. Piercing ball inboard is fantastic. Finds the skipper, and Cossins over the top. He finds a target in Whitney. Whitney inside forward 50. Elmer got good separation. Fantastic league. Well honoured. Unfortunately, it's going to be reversed and go all the way back into the centre square. It was against Connor Pearton, I think, who just collected Code. As we'll see, Code got the player afterwards, and everything else happened off screen as we were focusing on that terrific Elmer grab, but it counts for nothing as the Toes look to reload through Bessel.
Alex Bessel pops the ball up to half forward. Good ball and a good mark taken by Jacob Lister. One of two Listers playing today alongside Mitchell. Probing ball inside 50, a good punch in the end by Cody Lowe, out of bounds. But that in the middle there, that's just Matthew Code doing what he does best. He's an antagoniser. Seen him play a fair bit of senior footy over the years as a tagger. Just gets under the skin of the opposition, and a really big price there for North Lonnie.
Just a pest, you reckon?
Good bloke, but I think that's his reputation out on the field as the Tigers have the ball in a dangerous area. Crunching tackle laid. Really good work there. I think that was
it's Code.
Matthew Code. So a couple of big moments for Matthew Code. He's got the ball tucked in the pocket.
Gee, I reckon he's a bit stiff here, Stuart. I don't know how much prior he had.
No, it was a tough call. Only just got his hands on the ball, but Matthew Code, good tackle pressure nonetheless. See how he manages this from the pocket. He's going to wheel around on the right. Snapping ball always to the left. Minor score.
Hit it a bit skinny there, didn't he? So 29 plays, 30 plays 39. It's the kick. Doesn't go too far. It's cut off again. It's Pearce again. Inboard as a whistle. It's going to go away of the Northern Bombers. So that releases the pressure valve a little. We'll have to reload off half back. The kick is a pokey little one from Cossins onto the wing. Hot footy to gather, sniffing around it was Lanham. In the end, they watch it over the boundary line. Temperature dropped just a touch. Well, you've gone the other way. I'm feeling a bit chilly. You're taking the jacket off.
Oh, just a little bit of movement in the break, Gilly. I'm still just capturing my breath. But no, it's been nice and muggy so far this morning.
Giving the steps a real workover. As coming through his Bessel, he shakes off, hands to teammate in Reynolds, who powers it further along. It was fisted away now with Sanders. He whacks it on that reliable left. Cut off by Graham. Arches the back. Sorry, it wasn't Graham. It's the big man College. Swinging boot. Should be chopped off by Lowe. He sat in the hole. He spilt the mark, though. Good tackle applied. No, the umpire disagrees. Says he strayed high. So he punches out a handball. Here is Graham. A little ball over the top will find the lead. Sorty. He wheels and goes. Looking deep. Punched it away from Lister. Now there's Lane. Squirts out a handball. Good opportunity now for Mitch Lister. Geez, he got some air on that one. Asked plenty of Pearce. That'd take some serious marking. Paddling out the side. Here's Stewart. Just squirts out of his hands as he looks to run away, and it's nestled in that forward 50 of the Tigers.
Similar start to this third quarter as we saw in the second. The Tigers with a couple of repeat entries. Boundary throw in that pocket, almost exactly where Matthew Coate kicked from moments earlier. Ball comes in, one down by Lane. Cooper Stewart's the leading man for the Northern Bombers. Just a tumbling ball. Didn't get as much purchase as he would have liked. Ball's run out of bounds. We'll have another throw in. Thomas Eisel, the one taking the ball over the boundary. So another throw in. North Launceston gaining all of about 10 metres. Comes down low, just worked his opponent under the ball and just hacks it off the ground. Ben Graham's the leading man in pursuit in the middle of the ground. Wheels around on his right boot. Dishes the ball out to Lucas Griggs. He's got a bit of work to do here. Just does enough as reinforcements come in. Northern Bombers still with the numbers around the stoppage, but the Tigers do well. Little kick along the ground. Gets another inside 50 for the Tigers. Tackle laid. Unable to stick there from Jack Pearce. It's North Launceston just kick into space, but the Tigers, they've got some reinforcements. Probing ball inside 50 in the lane direction over his head and just walked over the line by Matthew Cossins. Pip Rahana there driving the ball inside 50.
One of the great names, Pip Rahana.
His nickname around the club is Ajinka.
Ajinka?
After the Indian Test cricketer.
That's fantastic, isn't it? I like that. Good flavour to it as it comes on in. Lane brings it down. Bombers around the footy. They'll get it out through Eisel. Just screws a kick. Good effort in the end by the North Launceston player in Cocker. He nearly completed the grab, as we see on the replay screen. 1, 2. Oh, that third one almost stuck for him, not quite. So ball back in. Reynolds having a stint on ball. He takes this one straight out of there. Pearton claimed him. Breezing through was Keogh, couldn't gather. Reynolds again, they climb on top. Mason Garb, the chief terrier in there, just tackling away. So Sam Bridges asks who the ruckman, and up they go. Lodi drops it down. Kelly couldn't gather. Just a bit fumbly. Mason Garb grabs the footy and Kelly grabs him.
Don't mind Lodi for Cody Lowe there, Gilly. That was good. I liked it. Little nickname.
Here he is again. Cody Lowe or Lodi as it comes through. Straight through there. It was Cocker. It was nice stuff. Gets his kick away, but unfortunately it's out in the full. So we're in Tigers ball to reload Willoughby. Willoughby on the wing. Willoughby a good kick. Looking for a target there, slipping through the fingers of Pearce. It comes forward almost for Lane. Probably should have extended the Dukes. Went the chest mark. Now at the full. It's the Tigers. They'll stream out the side. The kick coming from Keogh. Couldn't find its intended target. Slapping on the boot again. They've done well to negotiate this, North Launceston. Almost anyway. Eddie Burrows-Cheng was set up in the screen and takes a relieving grab.
Almost the same spot as the previous quarter, I think, though, Gilly.
Yes, spot on. He's had a sider from this spot, so he should know what's required. Last one, he struggled for distance. He might just go out to the right again to get the journey. He does. He leaves it short. Lane arrives. Lane grabs. Fantastic from the youngster. Timed his run to perfection and takes an important grab for his football team as we see that strong hands from the youngster. So this would draw the Tigers just 3 points adrift, Anthony Osborne. Set up a bumper finish to the game. Jordan Lane comes on in, threads the needle. 3 points the difference.
Yeah, big goal, big mark, and a lovely finish there from Jordan Lane. He kicks the first goal of the second half. It's one of the tall towers the Tigers have in attack. It's looked dangerous. The ball has been in his region. Took a really good grab there and made no mistake. So the first goal of this second half was always going to be important. And this one going the way of the Tigers, just 3 points adrift. We have quite the contest on our hands.
So back in the middle. Third quarter, 9 and change old. Big strong bounce, low, straight out of the middle. Invites a race to the footy. Graham comes on through, was collected. Swinging kick inboard for North Launceston. It's chopped off really well by College. And the long sleeves, looks to switch it onto the outer wing. Good mark from Ashland, he's away now. North Launceston defenders bearing down on him. He finds his target in Lister. So Lister, his player streaming back towards 50. Powers it long, looking in the Lane direction. Lane! Well, he kicked his first just a moment ago. He'll line up for his second. He may well be a game breaker.
Just read that ball better, didn't he, Jordan Lane? Again, nice attacking ball movement from the Tigers. Lane with a really big moment here to further impose himself on this contest.
So Tigers have not led this game. This to put them in front for the first time. Long approach. Jordan Lane. Nice off the boot. Very nice off the boot. His second, and the Tigers have hit the front.
Just doing what they struggled to do in the opening term, the Tigers, making the most of their opportunities. And all of a sudden, 3 points up, and with all the momentum, Jordan Lane really making his presence felt. Seen him pinch it a bit in the ruck and be a key target inside 50. Looks like the shift for him to be playing more as a permanent forward in this quarter is paying dividends for the Tigers.
No question. They've got a dangerous forward line there, don't they? When you look at the likes of Jack Pearce, Cooper Sordy and Jordan Lane. Hard to clamp down on them all. The ruck move of Banks Balding into the middle has been fruitful. So he goes to work against Lowe. Lowe brings it down. The runner was Kelly. He tried his way to muscle through. Oh, he's a bit lucky there, Mazengard, that no advantage was paid. So it'll be moved off a North Launceston boot deep. Coming across was Kelly. It was a Whitney kick inside 50. Kelly gets by. Sorry, not Kelly. It was Graham off the Godomski. Looking for Burrows-Cheng. Interrupted. Coming through was Eisel. He was collected. Really strong challenge from both players. Just eyes for the footy. Ball to go up once more. Great hit out straight for Burrows. Cheng just came through. As Banks Balding, just silver service put on the platter for Burrows Cheng, but good tackle applied. Halts it. So again, Empire tosses it up. Banks Balding up against Lowe. Lowe, a big hit out. Looking there for Cossins. Coming through was Reynolds, caught in a tackle.
So umpire Bridges take this one. Cody Lowe competing against Michael Reynolds. We've seen Reynolds fill a number of roles today. He wins that tap down. Immediately beset upon was Ashland. So repeat stoppage. Virtually the exact same spot. As Lowe and Reynolds do battle again. Burrows Cheng with hands on the football, but he's gang tackled by 2. Good pressure there from the Northern Bombers. Third stoppage in about 30 seconds as the ball goes back up. Cody Lowe wins that one down. Tigers with the numbers, but Lister handballs to himself in the end. He finds his captain in Kelly on his left boot. Drives the ball out to the wing. In pursuit is Jack Pearce, a long way from home. Just waits for the reinforcements, but the Northern Bombers have the number. Connor Pearton dabbles the ball inside 50. Or Eddie Burrows Cheng mops up, and the Tigers, they're going to be away here as they go out to the outer wing. Jordan Godomski in pursuit, stops, props, tries to take on his opponent. A great tackle laid there by the Northern Bombers. As the reinforcements come, handball into the middle of the ground looking for Mazengarb, unable to cleanly take the ball. Again, a great pressure tackle there from the Tigers. The intensity's just gone up a level here in the Development League Grand Final.
Fantastic footy, and the crowd finding their voice. Strong Tigers contingent here, of course, first grand final for the club in any form, and they've got their tails up and the crowd are onto it as Reynolds comes over the top, taps down. First in the foot race is Pearton, just paddles for himself, keeps it alive on the outside of the boot, manufactures a kick. Sitting back there is Graham, he's done it all day. Kicks in board, gutsy kick, had to be accurate, almost found the target. Still there for the Tigers. Stewart squirts a handball into the middle. Having to sit there and cop the tackle was Todman. He's wrapped up. They've done well to gain territory there. I like the gutsy footy of Graham. He had to find one target who was nestled in a hive of Bombers and nearly did it as Lane brings it down. Keogh inside forward 50 now. Sorty the target just short of him. They should deal with this North Launceston. They'll bring it out now via Jaden Harris, who finds Lowe, who's been pretty influential. He switches inboard. So is this man, Connor Pearton. Pearton switches. Oh, this is dangerous times because Ollie Sanders has it, and he really makes a bad call. Just pops it over the top. The run coming from Headland. Headland kicked one in the first. That's a magnificent kick towards goal. Didn't quite have the journey, and it's well dealt with in the finish by the Tigers. A minor score. 2-point game.
So the Tigers to bring the ball back in. It's going to be Graham again playing the role that Lockie Griggs often plays in the senior Tigers side as he hoists the ball to half back. Couple of flyers, but the ball ends up in the hands of Mitchell Lister. It's looked a bit sore the last couple of minutes as Mitchell Lister. Might just be a bit of cramp. He dishes it off to Burrows Cheng, who goes down the line. The flyers go up, but the mark is taken for North Launceston in Xavier Todman.
Played a bit of senior footy, Xavier Todman.
Yeah, an emergency for today's senior game as well. Obviously playing out here today. Goes to Stewart. Goes towards half forward. A couple of Tigers might spoil themselves, but Burrows Cheng ends up with the ball in his hands. Usually at senior level, send him inside forward 50, spending more time across half back today. Dishes the ball off. Ben Graham once again. Goes down the line looking for Cooper Sorty. Out of bounds, we'll have a throw in. Outer wing. 2 points the difference. Tigers 6-6-42. North Launceston 6-4-40. Almost 17 minutes gone in this third quarter. We are set for a grandstand finish. So the ruckman just prepare for the boundary throw in. It's going to be Jordan Lane competing against Prashak. Does well, that is Lane. Immediately beset upon. Tigers just trying to lock this ball in. North Launceston, the numbers on the outside, and that's who prevails in the end. Driving ball towards half forward there for North Launceston. Mark not quite taken by Will Haley. The Tigers with some pressure, but Will Haley backs it up. Good tackle. Boundary throw in inside the Northern Bombers attacking 50. North Launceston just with a couple of repeat entries the last few minutes, Gilly. We saw late in that second quarter, the Northern Bombers capitalise with a late goal. The Tigers will be desperate to make sure that's not the case in this third term.
So in it comes. Won't reach the ruckman. Tom Foon just pokes it into vacant space. Now the foot race is on. Leading everyone to it was Young. Farms it out the back. Back for Foon, who was out of play. So a 2-point game we have on our hands. It's the right end of the ground for the Northern Bombers, who have defended for the bulk of this quarter and the last one. Completely owned the first quarter of the game, and it comes again. Haley undersized in the ruck up against Lane. Did well competing to bring it to ground. Pole on top. The ball sprayed out and didn't go too far. So 18 and change gone. Third term. This big grand final day at Blunston Arena. The first of 3 games. Lane with hands to it. Trying one. Out of there was Young. Didn't get anywhere near it. Out on the full. So it'll be Ben Graham again from the last line. Away he goes. Long beyond the arc. Arriving out there was Kelly. Couldn't take the grab. Swung inside forward 50 again. Kelly. Sorry, Graham had his arms chopped, so he'll get a free kick. Haven't kept stats today, but I think he'd be one of the key winners, Ben Graham. Been very good. Deep in defence again. Just pokes into the path of a fellow long sleever in Keogh. Keogh just, that's a shocker. He's absolutely shanked that one. He was looking out there for Sorty, and he just overshot it. And it goes out in the full, so North Launceston to regroup.
So Northern Bombers to reload. High ball, inside 50, pack forms. Tigers with the sit in the end. As the ball just bumbles about, the Northern Bombers able to just extract the ball out. Headland dishes the handball off. Shot on goal from Ollie Sanders. Always missing to the right-hand side for a minor score. Ollie Sanders is the sort of player the Tigers do not want to have hands on the football. So that ball's just hoisted to half back. Probably interfered with there. The umpire agrees. So a free kick going the way of the Northern Bombers. Going to be taken by Lachlan Cocker. Had some really good moments today as Cocker. Competed pretty well in the air. He just assesses his options. Decides just to set it up to deep inside 50. Mark not taken. Out of bounds for a throw in. Right forward pocket. Northern Bombers. Again, North Launceston just getting some repeat entries inside 50. Tiger defence under immense pressure at the moment. Lane competing up against Elmer. Elmer does well, almost extracts the ball himself. Cries for holding the ball and cries for high. The umpire decides he'll just take it back.
I reckon he had more pride than Stewart had at the other end.
So another ball up. That one down by Jordan Lane. Bessel tries to extract it for the Tigers. Immediately wrapped up in the tackle. What does the umpire say? He'll take it back again. Repeat stoppages. 21 minutes gone in this third quarter. Just 1 point the difference in the TSL Development League Grand Final. Lane just slaps that ball over the top. Bessel was the intended target. He overruns the ball, but the Tigers, with the numbers, are able to just generate some yardage across the wing. Cooper Sorty the target. Jack Pearce overran it. Lewis Edwards dishes the handball off to Lister. This is where the Tigers are at their most dangerous. Keogh, just a high ball in the Godomski direction in the middle of the ground. It's a 1 against 3. Connor Pearton hot on his heels. Jordan Godomski, a great tackle laid. But the Northern Bombers end up with the numbers as they get the ball into the middle of the ground.
Pearton off for Young. Young now deep looking for Haley. He's got his jumper rip. He's been in the thick of the action. Gave away a free kick earlier that was lucky not to end in a goal. I'll have a look inside forward 50. Played a bit of senior footy so far this year. Key player in this development league team. Haley comes on in, 40 metres out, sends it on its way, but it was always looking left of the big sticks, and it stayed that way. So the margin now, a solitary point, as tight as it gets. So from full back they march, the Tigers. Long, looking in the direction of Sorty, gets hands to it. Couldn't complete the grab. Out it goes. So they get it outside of 50, but not too much further, the Tigers. After early domination this quarter, just being made to absorb a period of North Launceston pressure. Tigers crowd trying to start something with a bit of voice as it comes on in. Lowe did well, got good position. Sockering was Bessel. Out there, it was fed back. Not going too far. Godomski gathering. Found Bessel. Bessel just powers forward, looking for Sorty. Sorty got a hand to it. That's a good result for the Tigers. They had no one around the footy. Boundary line. Well and truly on their side, and they've just gained 60 or so metres. So come on in once more. In it comes, Low. First to it, down for Stewart. Out the side of Mazengarb. He's caught in trouble. Umpire circling says, give it to me. So scores are in fact level as it stands. As the ball comes onto centre wing. It's gathered and powered by Adams. High one, hard to gather. Come down with snow on it. It's forced forward by Edwards. Sniffing around that one was Pearce. He couldn't quite gather. Away now, the Northern Bombers come as Cossins. Really sharp stuff from the skipper. Finds Sanders. Just pokes in a vacant space. Should suit Elmer. He lost his footing at the crucial time. Inviting Rahana. They bring it out of defence now. It's a good kick for Keogh. So Keogh has Graham inside, keen to take on the footy. He'll ignore that. Look down the line and find Pearce, who's been industrious. Ashland wanted the switch. It would have been gutsy stuff. He powers looking for Sorty, who was caught behind. North Launceston with the numbers. Lister piles on top. It was a push in the back anyway. But it draws a close to the third term and sets up an absolute blockbuster finish. Scores are dead level here as we turn for the last. 6-6 apiece. Tigers and North Launceston. Well, Anthony Osborne, what a treat to start the day.
Yeah, we said from the get-go that given the track record, given the game that went into extra time a fortnight ago, given the other game earlier in the year that was decided by a point, we were probably going to be in for a tight contest. And with the scores locked at 6-6, 42 apiece heading into the final quarter, that's exactly what we're getting. Both teams have had little periods of dominance, but again, it's just going to be a matter of who makes the most of their opportunities. The Tigers, there's some important moments in that quarter, but North Lonnie, again, just able to take their game to another level and lift the intensity. Big day for the North Launceston Football Club. The seniors playing later today. The Tigers, they're in their first TSL Grand Final. This is a huge game. With a quarter to go, it's a tough one to pick.
There we have it, 6-6, 42 apiece. The major goal kickers, Cooper Sorty kicked 2 in the second quarter. Jordan Lay with 2 in that quarter. Harry Rand, the only multiple goal kicker for North Launceston. Ben Elmer, Tom Foon, Ollie Sanders and Dylan Headland with singles for the Tigers. Bessel and Husing with 1 apiece also. So as we sit here and wait for the deciding quarter, it's been a really tough contest. First quarter, North Launceston jumped the Tigers. Tigers wrestled right back into it and owned the second term and the first half of the third term, and then North Launceston climbed back on top. But it was a real arm wrestle towards the end of the third term, and there's not much, well, in fact, there's nothing separating these two teams at this point in time. So just is going to come down to little moments. Who can make the most of their time in forward 50? North Launceston had a fair bit of time inside forward 50 in that quarter and didn't quite stack it up, but earlier on in the game it was the reverse with the Tigers having that. So it's been a funny old seesawing ball game, and it's probably pretty neat that it's sitting at dead level as we sit here.
Yeah, certainly is. Just seeing a lot of the senior Tiger players around the group at the moment. You saw Elijah Reid and Tyler Carter, a couple of the other guys, just really getting around the group. A big quarter for that football club, as it is for North Launceston as well. Their second straight TSL Development League Grand Final. Scores locked at 6-6, 42 apiece. I just can't wait for this latest quarter to get underway.
And with you, we'll have a brief break from commentary, but stay with us. Huge final term coming up.
We were there when Susan from Swansea found herself in a spot of bother. We dubbed it Susan's Farmgate Forgot the Handbrake Fiasco. RACT Insurance, a part of your Tasmanian story.
So back for the last quarter. Score is dead even. 6-6, 42 apiece between the Tigers and North Launceston. Tigers, their very first grand final. Going to create some history for the club. Come back from a reasonable deficit. I'm trying to think what the top margin was, Andy. I reckon it was about 20 points at some point. So you sprawl back and have a look at the scores. Sorry, I've put you under the pump there.
And again, when the Tigers responded in the second, North Launceston again found another gear, but right now, all squared up. North Launceston with some chances late in that third quarter. Might be left to rue a couple of those, but an even ball game. So we just see a massive Tiger supporters still trying to actually funnel off the playing surface into the stands. They've come in their numbers today, the Tigers. As obviously North Launceston with the senior team on later today.
It's fantastic. Tigers, as I said, their first grand final as a club. Big occasion. Seeing plenty of the women's team and the senior team here to watch on, which is great. So it doesn't get much better than this. Scores locked to start the last. Bounce down. The rucks go out as Reynolds in there for the Tigers. He brings it out of there. Gathering was Bessel. He's jumped onto by Amazing Garb and be rinse and repeat in the middle of the ground. Just tossed up low, slapping down. Looking there for Amazing Garb. Didn't get to him because Reynolds stole it. Sent it inside 50. Slapping on the boot was Sordy, looking a lane direction. Hands to it but couldn't bring it down. Sordy followed it up. Slapping on the boot here is Pearce. It was unconventional, but it gains the Tigers a lead, albeit just one behind. But it could be behind that separates them at the end as Stewart brings them out from full back.
Stewart goes in the Elmer direction. So Cody Lower should say. Good mark taken on the second grab. He's got the ball at half back. Just hoist the ball down the line in front of the interchange gates. Ball punched over the line. Thomas Foon unable to collect. We'll have another throw in. Every moment is going to matter in this final quarter. As Jacob Bevis prepares to throw the ball back into play.
Oh, the Bev show, he's got the Dev League, has he?
Actually surprised you haven't talked too much about the show today,
I
Gilly.
haven't seen the show.
This ball in, one down. Almost a throw there by Godomski as the Tigers rebound into attacking 50. Jack Pearce just gets a little bit of space and takes a comfortable mark.
I've liked his game, Aussie. Presented well all day. Good follow-up. He's done some really nice stuff in traffic, just weaving his way through.
Competition's second highest goal kicker behind his teammate in Cooper Sordy. Makes his approach now. Will kick from the paint of 50. That left boot, ball on the way. Never really looked like it's going to fall short, but the mark's taken.
Sordy.
A big moment for Cooper Sordy. He's going to have a shot at his third goal of the morning. The ball just fell short and Sordy read it better than anyone else. Number 39 to number 29. Sordy makes his approach. He was never going to miss that. The umpire doesn't have to work. And the Tigers are up by 7 points early in this final term.
That's a big goal in this game. 7 points, a handy buffer. Start the last, Cooper Sordy. He hasn't been the all-dominating figure that maybe some expected. But he's still bobbed up with his three. And that could be the best of them. Terrific grab. Now Tigers land the first punch in the last. What do North Launceston have in response? Lowe and Reynolds in the middle, so they're persisting with Lane forward. Up it goes. Bounce favours Reynolds. Brings it down. Eyeing it off was Bessel. Slapped away by Lowe. Mason Garb lost his footing. Godomski breezes through. Kicking out there towards a target. It was cut off. A move with haste by Harris. That's just kicked out of there. Probably deliberate. The umpire disagrees. Says throw it in. His temperature has just dropped a couple of degrees. My I'm looking for my jacket. Anthony Osborne.
Yeah, may have made a mistake by taking it off a little while ago, Gilly. It's just picked up a little bit, the breeze.
Temperature may have dropped. This temperature of this game is red hot as it comes down for the runners. Feeding out. Good tackle applied. Bessel good enough to get it out. Lowe had his ball blocked. Eddie Burrows-Cheng sniffing around it. Looked to squeeze it out. Just into the footing and back for Burrows-Cheng. Be another stoppage.
It's just good, tough finals football in this final term. Tigers 7-7-49, North Launceston 6-6-42. 4 minutes into the quarter. Godomski in pursuit. Gets the ball out to Burrows-Cheng. Starting to work his way into the game. in the Pierce direction, unable to complete the mark. Lewis Edwards is there at ground level. Nice pressure from him. Paddling the ball on there for the Tigers, but North Launceston with the numbers. Kurt Hibbs, another player with senior experience. He goes to Todman. A dinky little kick from Todman puts Sanders under the pump, but he does well. Handball, though, not to the advantage of his teammate. The Tigers have the numbers. They've got a loose here. Lewis Edwards loses his footing. Lister gets around on the right boot. Always going to fall short, and the mark's taken. Good work there by North Launceston. The Tigers, they're coming, though, Gilly.
They butchered that, really, the Tigers. That should have been a goal. So bring it out from full back now. Potter tries to conjure a spell. Couldn't quite find Lowe. Keogh did well. A nice little sidestep. Feeds back. Come in from Reynolds. Long raking ball out the back. Sorty. One bite. Two bites. Cooper Sorty. Play on's been called. Edwards out the back. Should still be able to finish off and does. The Tigers are roaring away.
That's a big moment for young Lewis Edwards. Made no mistake. Cooper Sorty did well and had the composure even though play on was called to get the ball out, and Lewis Edwards made no mistake. Crafty finish from him. Just smart work there by Sorty. Dished the ball off. Edwards shrugged a tackle, kicks it and gets a rousing applause as he comes to the interchange bench. His first for the day, and that makes it a 13-point ball game. Can make things tough for North Launceston from here.
Very tough. We've seen goals have been a lot harder to the left of screen for whatever reason. Back in the middle again. 13-point lead. The Tigers have really jumped the Bombers to start this term. They'll do it again. Coming out of the middle is Bessel. Powering boot. Deep, long, looking for Lane. Wrestling with his opponent. Dropped down. Pearce eyeing it off. It was well done by North Launceston. Negotiated that well through Todman. Found Mason Garden. They're out now. Sanders wasting no time. Shakes and bakes and sends towards Foon. Foon had just bobbled off his chest, but still there for North Launceston. Low back to Foon. Foon inside forward 50. Just over the head of the intended target. Elmer trying to track it down. Soccer's over. Right into the ground for North Launceston at the very least.
How have you seen that battle between Elmer and Banks Boulding, Gilly? They've both had their moments throughout the afternoon, or the morning, I should say.
Yeah, and Banks Boulding spent a bit of time on ball as well. Elmer's threatened, but hasn't quite brought his absolute best today as it comes down, streaming through. Mazengarb in a flash, firing. What a goal, Mazengarb. He might have just lit the fuse for North Launceston. They didn't look like it to start the term, and that is a fantastic solo goal. So we'll see on the replay. He just read it superbly off the tap, came on through. Low flying bullet, straight through the middle. North Launceston fight back. The game keeps on giving. It's been a beauty.
Certainly has. Superb finish from Mazengarb. Cuts the margin back to 7 points. Back in the middle. That is a shocking bounce, and he will do that one again.
Bin it. Bin the bounce. Strong on it.
You've heard it there from Damien Gill. You do hear it every week from Damien Gill, it must be said.
A broken record.
The ball comes down. North Launceston now. Quickly. The ball goes inside 50 looking for a target. Oh, spills what he should have taken there in Elmer. So Tigers just paddle the ball looking for some reinforcements. North Launceston still with some numbers. Ben Graham pounces on the ball, locks it in. So Elmer just wasn't quite clean enough there. North Launceston bringing the ball inside their forward 50 nice and quickly. Seen it throughout the day today, really wreak havoc against the Tigers' defence. So that ball is one down by Reynolds, but a shot on goal from the pocket. Misses the lot. So North Launceston just with a couple of opportunities at the moment. So the Tiger player just taking his time to pick up the ball. After that shot, just saw the ball go up and inside the media box. Might have to get one of the reporters to go fetch that one. The Tigers just milking a little bit of time off the clock. Boris Cheng drives the ball to half back. A booming kick from him. Out of bounds for a throw in. Pretty good result there for the Tigers. North Launceston Still in their half-forward line, though. 8-7-55, plays 7-6-48. TSL Development League Grand Final. It's all on the line. The ball one down there by Lowe. Young does well. He's had some good moments today as Young, but the ball is cut off. Good mark taken by Zach Adams.
Zach Adams out of defence now, kicking to a pack on the wing. Spilt by Banks Balding. Coming in there with good follow-up effort with the Tigers. Eddie Burrows-Cheng did well in traffic, farmed it out. Godomsky now kept it moving. A sprawling ball towards 50. Just bounced over the head of Sordy. Hot to gather this one. Sordy back onto it. He's worked off it. Crying for a free kick. Good tackle applied there by Husing. Still in the right area of the ground for the Tigers. Farm back over the top. Now with Hibbs. He manufactures a kick. Eddie Burrows-Cheng should have taken that one. It's led in the Northern Bombers. Low, clever, paddling inboard. Here's Foon. Foon off for Pearton. Pearton now. Nice kick over the top for Young, but it just had a little too much on it. They try and keep it alive, the Tigers, but fooling no one. So it'll be thrown in. Far side here at Blunston Arena, 8-7-55, 7-6-48. That's the scoreboard as it's dropped down by Low. Good tackling everywhere. Godomsky couldn't quite handle. Foon could, fed it out. The kick inside, forward 50, came off hands. Who can gather? Lanham, off for Pearton. Pearton, an edgy little kick. Oh, it was nice off the boot, but it's into the woodwork. A minor score. 7-7 go North Launceston. Just a goal adrift. They kick to the numbers. Here's Lanham. Ducks into a tackle. Oh, he ducked into it. He's fortunate to get that one. Umpire Sam Bridges didn't pick it up. So Lanham inside forward 50. Graham across. Fist to it. Timely fist. It's just squeezed out of there by Ashland. They pile on top. Ashland and Burrows-Cheng. Good tackle. Foon at the bottom of the pack. He's been in the thick of the action. So Banks Balding up against Lowe. Low down. Here's Young with some space and time. Young swings a horrible ball. It's snuck through for a behind. Maybe an important behind. 5 points the margin now. As the Tigers look to bring it from full back. Adams offering on. Ignores that. Goes longer to the numbers. Ashland and Banks Balding, the ladder. Clattering into the former and seeing it over as they get into each other. There's always some niggle grand final day. So the ball's just thrown on in. Bouncing onto this one is Lister. Terrific stuff. Oh, he just missed the handball. Over the back. It was good work there by Harris. Banks Balding tried to squeeze out a handball, but he was smothered by Evans. There's good, hot, hard footy. Just 5 points in it. 13 gone in the last.
Boundary throw in. Falls short. College just gets it down. Lister immediately wrapped up in a tackle. Gee, the intensity's gone up here. Sam Bridges takes that ball, and he will have it. So in 2 games this year decided by solitary point. The umpire has blown the whistle. Free kick going the way of Lockie Cocker. So this could be a big moment for North Launceston. He's got the ball at half forward. Just assessing his options. He decides just to put it up into the danger zone. The ball goes up. No one able to bring it down. North Launceston with some players at the foot of the contest. Tackle laid. The umpire says, yeah, absolutely. Zach Adams been rewarded. Incorrect disposal. 2 games between these sides decided by a single point. One of them a fortnight ago. Semi-final that went into extra time.
This one could.
And this is an absolute cracker. The ball goes down the line. Good tackle laid there by Lister. Extracting it there with the Tigers, but Jaden Harris is going to get there. No, he's not. Cooper Sordy reads it really well. Gets back off his mark quickly. He's looked so dangerous today as he drifts the ball down. Doesn't really have someone at the foot of the pack for the Tigers, but the numbers come in. Lewis Edwards wrapped up in a tackle, just gets the ball out. North Launceston with the numbers. Harris dishes the ball, but again, another big moment for Cooper Sorty, vice-captain of this Tigers side, competition's leading goal kicker. He's a long way from home at the moment. He again hoists the ball to half forward, but no one's there. The mark's taken by Kurt Hibbs.
Well, Lane's got to impact those. Be disappointed if I was the kicker there in Sorty. Just didn't do enough as Foon collects in the opposite wing. Pokey, a little kick over the top will find Young. Young's next kick will be Sanders. Sanders has a bit of space. He just held up though, so soak that up pretty quickly. Goes inboard, finds Todman. So Todman has a player streaming for him. Doesn't get anywhere near it. Kicks straight for Keogh of the opposition. His ball was cut off by Jaden Harris, who's had a good matchup today with Jack Pearce. Gathering here was Eisel. Shakes off one. Tries to get it back for Cocker. Cocker does really well. Off now. A kick away from Prekariak. Just shaking off was Foon. I think he wanted the boundary and just disguised it well. So 5 points in it. Well, the next goal's enormous. Goes without saying. North Lonnie have really wrestled back into the game as the ball's thrown in. The Rucks go at a big punch from Reynolds. Straight out. He thrown on in once more. So Jacob Bevis. In it comes. Reynolds slaps down. Arriving first is Haley. Drops it off to Eisel. Eisel towards 50. All the Flyers were in yellow and black, but they spoiled each other. Squirted out the side. Burrowing in. Good tackle. Terrific tackle on Mazengard. Applied by Lister of the Mitch variety. Reynolds now takes it straight out of the ruck. Squeezes out a kick. First to it is Stewart. Bouncing away. Just slapped on the boot for the Tigers, looking in the Sorty direction. It was brought down. North Launceston bound away off half back. In the Young direction. Cut off by Edward Burrows Cheng. Pops over the top. Finds his target in Husing. He's kicked one this morning, I should say. Steers it towards centre half forward. Sorty, oh, he flew, couldn't bring it down. At the fall, it's all North Launceston. A fumble might let in the Tigers here. Banks Balding did well. Tumbled it back for a teammate. There's Edwards, kicked one a little earlier. Keogh shakes and bakes and goes inboard. Godomski, oh, he was clattered into. Legally, said the umpire. Haley, it was, who forced the ball out of there. Adams spills the mark. Coming through with pace was College. They keep it mauling forward. North Launceston, good bit of defensive work there by Adams, and he finds Keogh, who hits up Edwards. Left half forward. Pokey ball over the top. Banks Balding. One bite. Couldn't complete the grab. Breezing through was Husing. Cries for high. Umpire having none of it. So a forward 50 stoppage for the Tigers. They lead it by 5 points. Drop down to the runners. Farmed out the back. Young swings a ball. Out of defence. Burrows Cheng almost. Here's Keogh being pretty good. Ball to come inside forward 50 now. There's a miscued kick and a let in Stewart. Almost finds Foon, not quite. Foon will look to gather. As Keogh just went running on through. Ball to be thrown in. 18 and a half minutes gone. Last quarter. This absolute cracker of a Development League Grand Final.
Five points the difference as the ball comes in. Micah Reynolds wins that one down to Burrows Cheng. Only as far as Young, who's then dispossessed but lays another tackle. So repeat stoppage. Time ticking now. Just 5 points the difference. These two teams have been so hard to split throughout the year. This one is going to go right down to the final moments. One down by Lowe, but only as far as Reynolds, who quickly just hacks the ball inside 50. Strong mark taken, running back with the flight by Will Haley. Dishes the ball to Sanders, who's got a fair bit of space to work with here. A good user. That ball there, a brave kick, but it works out well. North Launceston with a couple of runners. It's Haley drives the ball inside 50. A good tackle laid there by Mitchell Lister. And that draws a stoppage. A big play there for the Tigers. The ball will be thrown up on the paint of 50. It's right into the ground for the Northern Bombers. One down by Micah Reynolds. He's been pretty good today. Ball farmed out wide to Ollie Sanders, who dishes the ball inside 50. Looking for a target. Unable to mark there was Elmer, but the umpire, he's found a free kick. High contact. That is going to hurt the Tigers. Sanders, a good ball inside 50. Made the defender panic in the contest. Was it there, Gilly?
Sheesh. No comment.
No comment, says Damien Gill.
No, it's tight. Probably officially there. But, in a big final closing stages, it's a big call to make. That's why they get the grand finals.
This is a big play. North Launceston trailing by 5 points. Slow, steady approach. On the way, he loves it off the boot. North Launceston hit the lead. A costly free kick from the Tigers, and Ben Elmer kicks his second goal of the morning. And it's 8-8-56 to 8-7-55. North Launceston, that is a big moment for them. It's over to you, Kingborough. What have they got as a response?
21 minutes gone. Jeez, it was a big call, wasn't it? Probably technically there, I reckon. But it will hurt for the Tigers if they lose from here. So the ball to be bounced middle of the ground, thrown up rather. So it's down off Lane's hands. He's been thrust into the middle. Lister rides a tackle, handball out, really good stuff. Now it's Alex Bessel, flying shot towards goal, doesn't quite get there, touched. Oh my, are we going to see it again? Scores are level. 8-8 plays 8-8 as North Launceston come out from fullback. Miscues the kick straight down the throat of Ashland. Right on the paint of 50. Oh, that is a strange ball. Goes in board. Dangerous ball. Now with the skipper in Cossins. Cossins looks to shake off Bessel and does. Looking over the top. Powers towards a target out there. It was a juggling effort by Smith. He takes the grab. So Smith now puts a bit of air on it. Looking for the runner Cocker. Over his head. Tigers with some numbers. Paddling was Elmer. Elmer now gathers. Claimed in a tackle. And we take a deep breath. 22 and a half minutes gone. Last quarter. Development League Grand Final. Up the ball goes. Low paddles out the front. Dangerous ball. Here's Graham. Tried to get it on the boot. Missed his boot. Cocker sneaks it home! Could it be the winner for North Launceston?
What a moment for Lachlan Cocker. He's been good today, and that is a sensational finish with so much pressure. Makes the most of his opportunity. And with 23 minutes gone, the Northern Bombers are up by one straight kick.
Massive game of football. Been thoroughly entertaining. A goal in it. We've got to give our votes as well, Anthony Osborne. I don't know how you're going. I'm struggling as we're back in the middle again. Down from low. Bouncing on the footy was Young. Young off to Haley. He just kicks for distance. Eddie Burrows-Cheng takes a mark. Tigers, what have you got for us? 23, almost 24 minutes gone. Straight in the middle. Opens it up. Big time kick. Finds Griggs. Griggs looking for Lister. Just overshoots it. Cossins collided into. Lister now has to ride a tackle. Drops it off for Keogh. Keogh inside finds Lister. Lister looks at goal. He's miscued it horribly out on the full. The worst possible result. That could be it. North Launceston have taken everything Tigers can throw at them as they power it out of defence. Elmer the target, hands to it, couldn't gather. They take the boundary line, that's deliberate. It was deliberate. Todman, he only had one idea. Kelly now powering in. Pack forms, who's going to bring this one down? Every player in the forward half. The climb on top, umpire with a decision to make. He'd be a brave umpire. Ball up, forward 50, a goal in it. 25 minutes gone. Siren sounds, North Launceston hold on in a thriller. What a game of footy. One of those games where neither team deserved to lose. But North Launceston just had the answers when it really mattered most. 2019 Development League Premiers, Anthony Osborne.
That was one hell of a game of football, Damien Gill. What a finish. Lachlan Cocker, the hero in the end, with that last-ditch goal. And tell you what, TSL Grand Final Day has just got off to an absolute flyer. That is one of the best games of football you're going to see. Heartbreak for the Tigers. So good for extended periods of today's game, but in the end, North Launceston just able to do enough, and deserving premiers today. But as you mentioned, neither side really deserved to lose this game. Unbelievable performance. Tigers had the ball at the right end in the dying stages of the game, but just unable to hit the scoreboard. We're proud of their endeavours today, but ultimately not quite enough. North Launceston, 6-point winners.
So there you have it. Big time win. 8-8-56 it was. Sorry, we'll just fix our scoreboard. It says 8-7-55. It was one goal in it to 9-8-62. What a game. We'll now get down for the presentations in just a moment as we see some of the highlights of the final term. So as North Launceston celebrate, we just take a big deep breath after witnessing one of the great Development League Grand Finals. Tigers lick their wounds. What a season they've had. Minor premiers, went on a winning run. Not sure what the streak was in the end. 12 wins in a row, was it?
I think so, yeah. It's about 12.
12 wins in a row. It ends in gutting fashion in the grand final. Geez, they had a chance late too. They had a chance. They just needed that little bit of poise. And who knows if that ball had to come in again, whether something could have happened from the stoppage. But North Launceston, you've got to say, deserved victors. Had the early running, weathered a storm, then held on when it mattered. Terrific game of footy. We hope that shapes what's to come in the following two games. So the two teams make their way over for presentations. We'll take the audio from those presentations shortly. What a game. What a game, Anthony Osborne.
Yeah, we're almost just a bit lost for words up here. That was an unbelievable finish, and touched on a couple of times. North Launceston, deserved winners, the Tigers. Heartbreak for them. Saw early in that first quarter, it looked like it was going to be all North Launceston, but the Tigers dug deep, and the two teams exchanged blows for much of the morning. North Launceston just in the lead at the right time. And this football club, after going down to the Blues in the decider last year, tasted success today in thrilling fashion. I'll be hoping it's an omen for the senior team later today as well.
Well, they're flat, aren't they, the Tigers? And you would be, to go down in such a fashion. Doesn't get much closer than that game. I thought we might be looking at extra time at one point, to be honest. Maybe it deserved extra time.
Yeah.
Maybe it deserved extra time. So we'll get down to the presentations with Colin McNiff in a moment. North Launceston, they're a club that just knows this big stage. They know what it takes, don't they?
Yep, absolutely. I think the Tigers will take plenty out of this. A lot of young players in that development league team that will be looking to play senior footy next year. An experience like this is only going to hold them in good stead. But for the moment, it's heartbreak for them.
Bitter pill to swallow, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, what a cracking start to grand final day with the development lead grand final. Wonderful finish to the game. Congratulations to both teams. To the Tigers, commiserations, boys. What a fantastic performance. The Tigers, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, there can only be one winner. First up, we'll start with the best on ground. I'd like to invite Craig Nottram from AFL Tasmania, the talent manager, to come forward and present the best on ground medal from the North Launceston Football Club, Connor Pearton.
First off, thanks to the Tigers. Unfortunately, someone had to lose today. We've had a couple of cracking battles this final series, so commiserations. To our supporters, thanks for coming down. It's an early game and big trip, so thank you, everyone of you. Cheers. And to our boys, to come back in that last quarter like that's amazing. I'm rooted, so cheers.
Well done, Connor. Congratulations. Best on ground in the grand final. Let's get the medal presentation underway to the players. And first up, number 2, Lachlan Young. Number 6, Dylan Headland. Making a return trip, Connor Pearton. Oh. Number 11, Jack Lanham. Number 16, Oliver Sanders. Number 24, Cody Lowe. Number 27, Jack Mazengard. Number 27, Jack Mazengard. Number 28, Harry Rand. (29) Cooper Prasiak. Number 31, Kobe Evans. Number 32, Ben Elmer. (34) Jaden Harris. Number 37, Kurt Hibbs. Number 38, Thomas Foon. Number 39, Xavier Todman. Number 40, Jake Smith. Number 41, Cooper Stewart. Number 43, Andy Potter. Number 45, Lachlan Cocker. Number 53, Ryan Whitney. Number 54, Jacob Kerr. Number 68, Thomas Eisel. The captain, Matthew Cossins. And the coach, Jade Selby. Sorry, number 60, William Hafey. Sorry, William. And now the coach, Jade Selby. And to present the cup, Carl Saunders.
So there you have it. The 2019 Development League Premiers, North Launceston. They celebrate a magnificent, nail-biting win.
Grand final between Launceston and Clarence.
As Cole McNiff forecast there. Next up, the TSLW Grand Final. We hope you've enjoyed the broadcast of the Development League. Keep an eye out for the next link and the next live stream either on the TSL Facebook page or the YouTube page for AFL Tasmania. We've got the two grand finals both coming live to you. As I said, hope you enjoyed today's coverage. What a game it was. North Launceston victorious by just one goal, 9-8-62. They trumped a dogged Tigers 8-8-56. Bye for now.